What's up and good? What's up, you guys? It's Danny Williams here with my lovely co-host Lucas Tyndall and Lily Price. How you guys doing this morning?
Great.
Doing great. Excited to be here as always.
Good. I'm
Super
jumping the
excited.
gun. I was trying to bring us in, and
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's so funny. Do y'all do that? Like you say something, and then like 2 seconds later, you do the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna go to Dunkin' this morning, and next thing you know, you turned into Dunkin'. Like,
Oh yeah.
yikes!
You got the
And-
max size.
Danny
I didn't
got
mean
the
to,
biggest
though.
drink
She
at Dunkin'
did.
that's
Me
ever
too.
made.
I know that
I
you did.
swear I was.
She was like-
I thought it was like a medium, but that's like a crack. I was
It looks
thinking.
delicious.
It does.
It's your way to
Really
start
good.
your Friday.
Then it was like, I don't know what's taking them so long. I know what's taking them so long now.
On extra pump
somebody
stuff in
took
there.
Right. It was like, get the
somebody in the
fuck-
back like,
somebody's
and she
look-
want whipped
I know,
cream.
right?
And almond milk too,
Right.
right?
Like, we ain't got that much almond milk.
Who's this bougie person
Right.
with almond milk?
Almond milk.
It's just
Right.
like from Dunkin' shop.
I have oat milk. You're rubbing off on me. It's oat.
Okay. I heard
What you
oat milk
got?
is really
Oat
good.
milk?
I heard oat milk is better. Is oat milk better?
Well,
Or
I'll
coconut
say
milk I heard is
Coconut
better.
milk is good. You know
heard
what?
coconut
'Cause
milk is
oats
better.
actually aren't the best for your stomach.
Okay, I did
Oat
hear that.
milk,
I did hear that.
Like almonds are
Okay.
not
Not
the
the best
best.
for your stomach.
And first of all, okay, tell them what we got going on today before we start talking.
Listen,
Let's do that. I'm sorry.
We are doing a little transition, right? We are Lucas Live dudes, but as you guys know, like we are in the works of trying to change the name. Lucas and I had some conversations yesterday because we're trying to transition over to more of a talk show, but still keeping you guys in the loop. Okay, so we're gonna have a discussion today just about stepping into like the best versions of yourself, and then just a conversation around what happens when you do that. Like, what do you start to see happening in your world, in your everyday life, with your friends, with your family, with your coworkers? What changes do you start to see, and how can we navigate them? And just talk about what we're experiencing, what we're feeling, and how to overcome those feelings. So if you guys are into leveling up, if y'all into conversations like that, stay tuned because that is what this show is all about.
Yes.
We have some highlights from some things happening in our community. We want to shout out to our sponsors and just have a good time on the show. We have a Brandon sports segment. He did a really good job yesterday. I can't wait for y'all to see that. Olivia and Lori Moline with the Mentor Stark mashup. Just some fun things coming at you guys today. So stay tuned, stay locked in, and make sure you share this broadcast. I'm going to hop over on my phone and make sure that I share it right now too. Oh, looks like my Facebook is updating, so I
That's
guess
what
I'm
I'm
not
doing
sharing
over
nothing.
Oh, man.
I ain't sharing nothing right now.
I am.
Don't you hate that? Like, okay.
I know.
all right, all
I'm
right,
not
cool.
doing it. I'm not doing it. Good morning, Lori. Welcome. Hello. Kareem Marie, all the way from Puerto Rico. What's up, babe?
I'm trying to get Kareem legs.
Man,
Hey,
I'm
I'm
talking
trying to,
about-
man. I'm
she
trying
doing
to
it.
get
She
Kareem
looking
life.
good out there,
Yes.
man.
Lucas was over here sweating like, wait.
No,
She posted a picture with her swimsuit on.
Yes.
Lord.
Relax. It's content.
it's content. So that's what everybody gets to say these days. No, you look beautiful, babe. Happy
does.
40th. Happy 40th to her.
40th.
Woo!
What
Happy
a way to
40th birthday. We're so excited for you. Glad you got to enjoy yourself in Puerto Rico. You are missed. The house ain't a home when your
When you
wife
saw
is
that
gone.
leg, I know you missed her.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I went to the Colonel Sanders. They ain't had no legs like that. I was looking for legs. I was like, I got to find something somewhere, And then the
Man.
Colonel ain't even got legs like that. I went to Popeyes. I went everywhere. It just wasn't happening. But happy birthday, babe. It's her 40th birthday. To grow up together. Me and her were just having a conversation about this. She was 22 when we met. And I was 25.
21 when I met you.
That's
man.
correct. Oh, is that right?
Young,
See?
yeah.
So and time goes on and
Absolutely.
we've raised children and, built a home and you go through life and ups and downs of life. But man, you grow up and you look up and you're like in your 40s and it's such a beautiful phase of life.
Wow.
Cause you look up and you're like, man, we've accomplished a lot.
Yeah.
And we're really just getting started for
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
So super proud of her, all that she's accomplished. The things that people are seeing her do now with the bookmark and other things are just a manifestation of all that she is.
Yes.
She's the most creative and disciplined person I've ever seen.
Yep.
Most people aren't both of those things. Most people are creatives that don't have the discipline and structure to do the things.
And that's how you
Me
create things.
sometimes.
So.
Me sometimes.
Well, me sometimes too, because also like when you have that type of structure and discipline, it makes you stick with it.
It does.
Because a lot of times when you put something out there, if people don't immediately catch on, you get discouraged.
Yeah.
It has a lot to do with so it sounds like she's pretty confident.
She's confident,
Because
very
like,
confident.
You put yourself out there, you're just I'm gonna keep going. It don't matter. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going, and then boom.
Yep.
And a lot of people just kind of stop.
She's written books. She's done things. A lot of people don't keep writing books. Your first book doesn't go a bestseller. Most people's books aren't a bestseller.
Yeah.
But you keep going with it, and she keeps doing it. Keeps learning.
Calculated.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Make them
She's
t-shirts.
confident. Yeah, you're right. Confident.
and calculated.
Happy birthday, Asia.
Asia B, 10 years apart, same birthday.
They share
Kareem,
the same
Marie, and
birthday.
Asia.
Happy birthday, Asia. Happy birthday, Kareen.
Yes,
And
yes.
yeah, 10 years apart. 30
Exactly,
and 40,
10 years
milestone
apart.
Birthdays happening.
Yep.
Huge, huge, huge. Asia, we really,
30.
it's the thought that counts, Asia,
Oh,
okay?
30.
It's the thought that counts. We love you so much.
What's
We
she
was all
say?
in here trying to get to the school with balloons and everything. And before
That was
we
my
knew
idea.
it was before we knew it was 3 or 4 o'clock. And we were just like,
Was
how
I
did
even
the
here?
whole day go by? So it's the thought, right?
Yeah, happy birthday.
love
And
Asia.
you giving her a shout out.
We are.
And
We love
giving her a
Asia.
shout out on Lucas
All
Live
day.
News. We miss her
Yes.
so much.
She gonna be with us full time before we know it. She gonna be a regular.
Her boss gonna be watching.
She ain't. AJ ain't never been scared.
She ain't never been
She like,
scared.
get rid of me if you
Let
want
her
to.
watch.
Lose an asset if you want
Let
to.
her watch.
Right, let her watch. Right.
Listen, so
Right.
so yeah, so we're gonna jump in to the show. I'm really excited about this transition and even the name change. We were talking a little bit last night about maybe what it will be. So I'm just excited about that. So I want to start off with a question, and then we're gonna get into like our community spotlight and regular things that we do with the show. So have y'all ever felt like you had to like calm down or like dim your light or like not be too much, like make somebody else okay or make like a group of people maybe feel okay? You go into a crowd. I know you're really out there and loud and all of that. Have you ever felt like you needed like to tone it down sometimes in front of certain crowds? Like what is
Sure.
that like when you're stepping into even with your purpose and whatever it is that you're doing? Do you feel like you have to tone it down a little bit?
I would say for me, yes, I've learned to not be that way, but I spent most of my life being that way. So most people knew me most of my life. I was really quiet,
Yes.
which I was naturally.
That's how I know you.
That's how you know
Well,
me.
Knew
me,
you.
right?
That's how I knew
A
you.
quiet Lucas.
Yeah,
Isn't
just
that
kind of in the
strange?
background.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Super quiet person. It just seems so odd to most
Yeah.
people. Super quiet through school. I knew who I was though. Like inside, even in like high school, like we knew each other in high school. I was this quiet person. I was helping everybody with their problems. I knew everybody's business behind the scenes. All the girls was telling me, "My man is doing da 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 da."
Yeah.
And all the dudes was coming to me because they knew I knew what their girls was thinking, but I wasn't like I couldn't cross those lines. So I was always just like trying to help both sides.
You were like Oprah. You were like a
I was
Oprah.
Oprah in high school
had
back
a
then.
background.
Back then.
Didn't know what you was doing.
Didn't know I was young. I started in middle school for real doing that. But so that was who I was, and it was cool to play that role. And I had a lot going on at home and stuff. But then as I got older, I was finding my voice. But I found myself most of my life until probably the last few years playing small because my greatness intimidated people. And my mom told me often there's nothing scarier than a black man with a plan, and it will intimidate people. And she said you have to be twice as good because of being a black man.
Yes.
And not that it's often, and for people out there listening, it's not always a conscious bias. It's sometimes an unconscious bias. They recently did a study that said when they studied hiring based on resumes, that a white person with a felony was more likely to get an interview than a black person with a black sounding name. They're more likely to get an interview with no felony and the same qualifications than a white person with the same qualifications and a felony.
Yeah.
So they said to be black in America is almost the same as having a felony conviction as a white person. So for me, a lot of it was playing the role in life, you know, whether it's in rooms with people who don't look like me or then being in rooms with people who look like me. You're trying to not look like you're too much of one thing or the other. So I think a lot of times I was trying to dim my light and play that, but I'm not doing that no more. And I told y'all the 2025 me is
It's different.
extra different.
It's different.
Better stop playing with me.
I see it. What
Yeah.
about you?
I don't know. I was thinking about this last night, actually, and I was like, I mean, I guess there's layers to this question.
Absolutely.
Of course, I would say it's like an onion, but I feel like I'm similar to you though. Like I wasn't like
Right.
a loud person
Right.
in high. Like I didn't have lots of friends. I still don't. Like I'm still a very private kind of person. I would say just life experiences allowed me to like blossom probably within the last like 5 years, where I've just been like more open on social media and things like that. But I kind of like stayed in the background, but mine was lack of confidence, and I still struggle with that. And I think sometimes when we dim our light, it's not necessarily, I mean, it has to do with other people, obviously, because we are concerned about what they think. So I think that's one of the layers. Like sometimes, like for me, I will just kind of step back because I'm like, I don't want the criticism, or I might hide some of my story or not share so much because I don't know what people how they're going to respond. I say I used to be like that. I'm not like that anymore.
Okay. All right.
Because everybody has a story.
Yes.
I'm pretty open about, like my life experiences and my story, but I used to just kind of be like, well, they're going to think X, Y, and Z, or they're going to say X, Y, and Z. I still kind of catch myself trying to protect people sometime within my story, like, and not specific people, but just like, I don't know. It's hard to explain.
That's a great point because the story, you can't tell your full story without sometimes the people is under the bus. You're not throwing them there.
Right, and I'm not like trying to deliberately
They just
throw
under
you
the bus.
But part of my blossoming is because of trauma and damage, and it might have been caused by a person or an event. And you kind of want to, like, the godly part of you is like, you just don't want to like throw them under the bus. But then there's this other spiritual part where your story can help someone else. And being open, and especially when we talk about like life experiences, if somebody who's struggling now can relate to someone like you or Lucas or myself who have had different life experiences and say, oh, well, they don't really care what people think, and they're out there, like, because your trauma and your stuff can just keep you shielded. It can keep you from stepping out. It can keep you from, and I feel like that's where, like, when I think of dimming your light, it's like a lot of times people dim their light because of their life experiences, or they might be ashamed of certain things. So that's why I said there's two different ways. Like sometimes a woman might dim her light. I'm talking from a woman's perspective, because her husband, she wants to push her husband out there. So she might kind of dim her light. I've been in relationships like that where I'm like, oh, I want to really push, this person out here. And I was kind of like in the background, but I had all this value and all this stuff that I could,
y'all hit those hearts if you agree. Hit those hearts.
There's two layers. There's the genuine, I'm going to dim my light for my partner, whether it be a man or a woman. But then there's this, I want to dim my light because I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of what I've gone through. And so, you got to be Moses out here in these streets. I don't care if you didn't killed one of them Egyptians. You got to come up out that wilderness. You know what I'm saying? You got to do your work.
You can't be hiding.
You can't worry about it, because when we talk about the story of Moses, we don't always talk about the Egyptian. Look, I'm getting ready to preach. We don't talk about, well, he murdered the Egyptian. No, we talk about how he delivered the people, you know what I mean, out of Egypt. And so, like, we talk about the bold story.
Right.
We don't talk about
the flaws, because we all got it.
Yeah, we all have it.
Listen, y'all, join the chat this morning, okay? We are talking about becoming that person, like stepping into your purpose, and being unapologetically you. So, you guys out there, have you ever had to dim your light to make others comfortable? And what was that like? This is what we're talking about this morning, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about how to get up out of that, to get up out of having to shrink yourself down, to minimize yourself.
I like what Asia said.
What she said?
She said, I know who I am, but I'm taking the back seat this season for my
globe-trotter
man.
Okay.
But Asia is, first of all, Asia is a new
She doesn't
fiance.
even seem like she can even take a back
Asia's a force. She's such a force.
So,
right.
Like, it's very bold and strong.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, like
she's stepping. She's in the back seat, but she the flyest one in the back.
She done took the front seat out, though. She in the back seat.
Yes.
Ain't no front
seat if she in the back seat. Just know that.
Only seat here.
Right. I'd be in the front seat too. Right.
Okay. All right, you guys. So that's what we're getting into some good talks this morning.
Tasha Ellis, thank you so much for joining us here on YouTube. Tyler Thatcher.
So y'all talking that talk.
Thank you, my man. Appreciate you for
joining in on the conversation.
Man, appreciate you, Sean Strong. What's going on, my man? Strong Family Wellness. They got a big event coming up soon. You guys are going to hear a lot more. They're going to be our guests very soon on the show. Absolutely. Lots of great stuff.
Absolutely, you guys. We are going to transition real quick into Community Spotlight and some upcoming events. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right, it is March 7th, and that means the cotillion is coming up next in 2 weeks. March 16th, the cotillion will be happening, and guess what, y'all?
What?
They sold out.
That's
They
amazing.
sold
Oh
out.
my goodness,
What?
that's
I
so
didn't know
great.
that.
Yes. The building will be packed.
Well, let me
Tiffany,
tell
I
you
love
something.
Your face when she said
They
sold
sold out.
out.
Let me tell you
Yeah,
something.
that's right.
Well, let me tell you something we're proud of here at Lucas Live, and a lot of people come to us to help promote their events or be a part of their events. And the cotillion, they asked us early on to get really involved. And Danny, you've taken charge of a lot of stuff. You've been heavily involved in content creation and so much more. Even at the cotillion, you'll be heavily involved in. And I really appreciate you
I'm
for
excited
leading on
for it
that. That's
too.
been
Yeah,
really
thank you.
cool. At Lucas Live, we have an ability to reach the community, and that's because you all are watching us, supporting us, listening to us. We hope to be bringing you guys great content, and it allows us to promote great events. And that's a special place. That's why our sponsors matter. That's why our sponsors sponsor, because they see the reach it gets. And it's cool to be able to be a part of things. And I tell people all the time when they first reach out to us, I'm like, why would people want to come to your event? Because everybody wants to throw an event. They don't always have the relationships. They don't always have the network. They haven't always necessarily nurtured the ground to throw an event and think everybody's just going to come out, right? So they're like, can you promote our event? So basically what they're saying is, we've done no groundwork. We just want to come on your show and make an event out of nothing.
Yeah.
Well, then we should be putting on the event. I mean, like that, then that means we should make all the money off the event or something. But great events like the Cotillion, and the deltas who are behind it and all those who are involved, we were just able to add gasoline to a fire. And others, and Sean Strong, we're going to be talking about him soon, and Rosalind Pratt, and so many others who have events. We are excited when we can partner with those people, and when those people see value in what we do as well, when those people hire us, because y'all think we be at everything. We do be at a lot of stuff, but the brawl, when people bring us out and when people hire us and use us for different things, we're so grateful for all that, and we know the value we're bringing to the city, and that happens because of all of you. And we're starting to crack that code, because people are like, nobody comes to stuff in Canton. People are coming to stuff.
Yes, they
and we're starting to crack that
I
code.
love that. I love it. They're having a conversation in the chat, and I want to just, hey, Asia, I want to hop over to that. So, Asia said, "I've never did my light for nobody. I know who I am, and I'll shake the table and walk away before I stop being who God called me to be." Asia is a force. Okay, Asia always has like, you know how your friend got the right thing to say. Like she always got that right comeback, that right. You like she'll tell you all. She reads you down. Right. So
that's a
then
good
Tyler,
friend, though.
Go ahead. What'd you say?
That's a good friend.
That is.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
You don't want one of those friends that's like, yeah, you sit up there talking, you got spinach in your teeth, and you just
They just looking at you. Asia gonna let you know.
She's been like that all her life.
Yeah.
I love her. Tyler said,
one of my best friends asked me a question a few years ago. What's wrong with confidence? That's a great question.
What's wrong with confidence? You know what?
Oh, I got. Oof.
You know
look,
what?
your leg is
I'll-
going.
Right?
Oh, look,
Because
his leg
listen,
is
like,
going.
when we talk about confidence,
listen.
let's talk about it real quick. We talk about confidence. I know for me as a woman, and then I see other women, like, you know, and on social media is what I'm referring to right now. I see women like making posts about, you know, knowing who they are, being who they are, and being confident, and getting backlash on that. Like getting backlash when you know who you are. And I always say, like, I have been a person that didn't know who I was. Like, I looked in the mirror, didn't like what I see. I thought I didn't have any potential. I thought I just didn't think highly of my.
What were you like as a teenager? Like
As a teenager, as a young adult, there were just things that. There were things that started to happen to me.
I think that would surprise a lot of people. I'm asking sincerely, like, when was that?
I believe that. I went and spoke at a retreat with Miss Ebony, and I was telling them my story, and the ladies, you know, I didn't know how they were receiving me at first. I was talking and I was just telling my story, doing my thing, and you know, you trying to read everybody's faces, and it was kind of bland, so I just didn't know what they were thinking of me. And after, they were like, we would never imagine that you would go through something like that, you know, being who you are, looking how you look, and just whatever. And I'm like, yeah, like I had those thoughts. I thought those things. I didn't always think that I was, you know, the prettiest or the smartest or the any of the great things you can think of yourself. I didn't think that highly of myself. So when I started to, I wanted to tell the world about it. I wanted to tell the world how much I love myself. I wanted to tell the world how cold I was at certain things, and how proud I was of myself when it came to certain things, because I knew where I didn't show up and how I didn't show up. So when I started to do those things, I was proud of myself.
Right.
And I just really wanted to just shout to the world,
Right.
like,
Right.
I'm that girl.
Right.
Right. But when we start, the point I'm making is, when I felt how I felt like before, somebody would have told me, "Don't you feel like that? You need to have some confidence. You need to walk in a room and light up.
Wow.
You need to do this, you need to do that."
But then when you get
when
confident,
somebody does it,
man,
some people have a lot of
Yes.
issues with it. Like, who does she think she is? Why she thinks she all that? I didn't think it.
I think
I
that's
think it
the
now.
right.
You think it now.
Right.
That's a problem.
right? How
Well,
did
I
we
think
get
that's-
here? How do we
I
flip the
think-
coin and I'm
yeah.
still wrong?
I think
Like I was
that's
wrong on both
a
sides.
major part of confidence, though.
What'd you say?
I think that's the major part of confidence is that you can't care.
Can't
Yes.
You know what I
Ooh.
mean? So because either way, there's
judgment on
judgment.
either
Someone's
side.
gonna say something. So the confidence part is just saying I am who I am, and this is this is who I am. I'm unapologetically me. This is who I am. But Danny, I was the same way. I mean, and I'm talking about because there's an age gap with me and you. I don't talk about but
About a dozen, maybe.
but there is. But I want to say that I struggled with that my entire life. And I remember when I lost confidence. I was probably around 5 years old. I remember I would dance and sing and do all these wonderful things. And then I had a situation happen to me, a traumatic experience, and then I remember being shy.
Wow.
And so I look back now. I didn't see it until probably around 5 years ago. But the enemy stole that from me. Well, he thought that he did.
Right.
And so I always try to encourage my kids, like, be confident.
Yeah.
Be confident. Do not be afraid. Like, you know how to dance, so dance.
Right.
You know how to sing, so sing.
Yeah.
You know how to play basketball, so play
Yeah.
play basketball. With my older son, he's just such a leader. And I'm like, keep being you. Keep being who you are and be confident. But I struggled with that same thing from the age of 5 all the way through high school and even as a woman. And I think that is what creates a lot of our life experiences is the lack of confidence. But I also think there's a balance with confidence. Like you can be arrogant or confident.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so like sometimes that confidence, we have to remember that we got to be humble in the walk of confidence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, so as we're confident, we're humble in our journey of knowing that God is in control.
Yes.
And I think that that's where the balance is. And some people don't understand that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Look, they'll see your post, oh, I'm this, I'm that, but you're humble about
Yeah,
it. You know what I'm
right.
saying? You're at home and you're
Right.
like, Lord, I just thank you for this.
Li-
You know,
that's
like
it.
there's that humility about
That's
it.
it.
But then also you got to have the confidence to not really care
Not
what anybody
really
has
care.
to say.
That part,
you
that
know?
part.
So
Love that.
there's just this balance
Yes.
with all of those things.
Yes, I was that girl since Layman. She said they all looked up to me, but I didn't know.
You didn't know.
I was just
Isn't
hoping
that,
everybody liked me. I guess. I don't
yes.
know.
Isn't
Yeah.
that something like I was telling my husband, it's something that you, so I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
Did you feel like people know you now that you or looked up to you or knew you that you didn't even know, that you didn't even know?
Yes.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, because that's what happened to me. People
Yes.
would come up to me like, you used to such and such. Lucas,
Yeah.
you said
Yeah, I
something
did.
to me
Yeah.
once.
I
Like,
remember.
you was doing, you
High
was talking
school,
about
yeah.
it. And I'm like, I remember
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But somebody was listening and somebody was
I
paying
never
attention.
forgot it. Yep.
Yep.
But
never
I was
forgot
so
it.
insecure at that time.
I didn't know that.
Oh,
I
absolutely
thought you were
insecure.
so locked in. You were literally like
I
that.
mean,
Were like
I knew God, but I didn't. I knew how to tap into Him, but I wasn't confident in myself of who I was at that
nobody
time.
knew that. Like it's
You know what,
fascinating.
though? Like,
I mean, I like
There was a time that like I was on when I was going through like my spiritual journey real heavy. I like I said, every time I learned and I want to teach it, right? So like I was learning stuff and I was like, you guys gotta know this, like
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So sometimes I would make posts or say things, and I would be talking to myself too.
yes,
Like
for sure.
I'm saying all of this because I need the reassurance.
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
saying all this
Yes.
because I need to hear it. I'm saying all this because I need to hear it and you need to hear it too.
Yeah.
I'm saying all this so we can like I always like would make posts or like whenever I would try to teach something, it would be like we gotta do better and we gotta. I never say you. It's all because I'm learning as I go, and as I'm learning, I want y'all to come up with me because I'm learning some good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm learning about myself. I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling good. I'm knowing who I am, and everybody should know who they are. Everybody should feel that way. That way, we're not fight with each other like who she thinks she is.
Yeah.
Because if you knew who you were, you wouldn't be wondering who that person was.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you
Right.
know who you are.
Keep your eyes off me.
Yeah.
Right. Lots of great comments.
Yeah.
Thank you
love it.
guys.
Thank you
They're
guys.
I want you guys to know, please, even if we don't get to your comment right away, or we may not get to your comment at all, your comment might help somebody else, or your affirmation to us to say, yes, preach, go, say that, whatever is helpful to us. It's helpful to each other. Engage each other in the chat. We appreciate that.
Yes.
Lori, thank you. She said, straighten your crown, right? And hold your head high.
Yes.
Walk with what you know. Absolutely.
Yes.
John Ramos, my guy, he said, one thing I've never lacked is confidence. The key is to make sure you don't bleed over into arrogance. Arrogance and pride will definitely stunt your growth and ability to build relationships.
Absolutely.
Love that.
I
Shout
love
out
that
to
too.
Lindsay as well. Thank you. Lindsay said, whoa,
Ooh,
we got a lot of
okay.
comments. What's up? We didn't even see all these
Okay.
comments. Lindsay, Tony Ann, what's up? Panther. All right. I don't know if I can read all these. They're going to have to put it on the screen bigger. Okay, because we trying to. I know we love you guys. You guys are our guests.
Yes,
Okay, so
yes.
you guys
We
are a part of
wanna
the
hear what-
conversation
We're
too.
having these conversations because we're on the show, so we get to be here to have it, but it wouldn't be as fun as it is without you guys. So
Yeah.
this is great. This is what we want. This excites us.
This is why we want. Our show is evolving
It's a
too.
conversation.
Yeah,
right?
it's a talk show. We really are. We're evolving the show. So. Okay, I can read it here on my phone. Lindsay said, shout out to Lindsay. She said, I know I went through a huge phase in my life where I wasn't confident or wasn't okay with my image. Personally, going through abuse, I was always self-conscious and embarrassed. I was worried what people would think of me not being able to work because of it. But I can honestly say, since growing closer in my faith, it's been a lot easier to be more confident. I'm not exactly where I want to be, but it's getting better for sure. Lindsay, thank you so much. Shout out to Lindsay. Thank you so much for saying that.
Right? Like
Yes.
I think when you can self-reflect like that and just really see your journey
Yeah.
and not
Yes.
getting better. You know, I used to be this and now I'm this. Like you're learning who you are and you're right. You got closer with God and whatever, you
Yeah.
know, whatever you believe in. But that faith
Yes.
alone will allow you to believe all that you are
Yeah.
about yourself is true. So
I like
Antoinette,
what Antoinette said.
what she said.
Okay,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead.
Read
Because I'm sitting there and I call her Tony Ann, so I don't,
Yeah,
know,
that's
I don't know what y'all say.
Yeah.
But it says I've always been confident. However, it wasn't always a positive confidence. I also have dimmed my light in many spaces, so I don't always draw attention. But I like how she talked about being confident, but not always in a positive way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's something that we haven't even touched on.
Yeah.
Like, you can be confident and be out here on some trash.
Right, you can be
I ain't
confidently
saying you was,
wrong,
like,
loud and wrong.
Wrong,
But,
loud
but
and wrong.
I
Yeah.
think we've been there in
Yeah.
certain situations. And sometimes, you know, we can be blessed with a gift
Yeah.
and be confident. And
Yeah.
going back to what I believe you said, what was the gentleman up there?
John Ramos.
Yeah, like you're in it, but you got to watch.
Yes.
Everything is a balance.
It
You
is.
got to watch where you're at because things can be good and you got to make sure your pride isn't up there. So you ain't thinking you better than other people.
It's such a balance.
such a
Now listen, let
balance.
me
I'm
say
telling
this.
you.
All right.
I'm telling
and
you.
Tony, she also said, put up Tony Ann's other comment. I just want to read that to complete her thought. She said, I have learned to see myself and be confident in how God views me. And that is a beautiful thing, girl.
Yes.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
Yep.
That's really good. I think that one of the things that my thing is, and I don't know, I'm an interesting person to talk to about these things because I've gone from a place of knowing who I am, playing so small, until now I don't play small at all. Like there's nothing about me that's like, I don't care. I don't even, like I do my best to never think about what people think about me. And when I think about what people think about me, I shut that thought down. Like I don't freaking care. And then I start thinking like, do I want to be around people who I have to think about how they think about me? Like I feel so comfortable and safe with my team. Like that's how I need to feel. Like we talk about anything and everything.
That's what Pam kind of said. She said you gotta be careful because people can project. This is not her words verbatim,
Yeah,
but project their insecurities onto you.
That's so true.
And that is
Pamper.
so
Thank
true.
you so much for saying
Example,
that.
right? You can say, I'm thinking about, getting this 2025 Kia.
Like, girl, you crazy? You can't afford that?
Break
No,
it
they be
down.
breaking that girl
Break
and then
it down.
don't do it.
Don't
Yes.
be saying,
Yes.
I had a Kia,
Yes.
No,
it's bad.
life
Oh,
is
that's
bad.
right,
You're not supposed to
1994.
talk about what you're doing
Yeah,
sometimes.
everybody can't. Everybody's not
You're
guilty.
not really supposed to talk about the next move.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I
I've been
mean? A
learning
lot
that
of
too.
times you're supposed to just move.
Right.
You move in silence
out.
and then you pop
Right.
out. Yeah, pop out and
Show.
show.
Right.
You know, so I mean, because people will discourage you. And we've talked about this before. Like even when I started my business, I'm so close to my family. I'm super close. Like I tell them everything, you know. But I could not tell them that this is what me and my husband were doing.
Wow.
Because my parents are old school. You know, they was like, "Oh, you got a job with the county, you got benefits."
Girl.
You know, if they would have known that I left, I didn't even tell them I left my job.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Because the
I
way
get
that
it.
people think,
And they love you.
not
They
that
meant the
don't
best
love me
for
and
you.
they
Right.
don't want
Yeah.
to see
They
it.
want their best. Though.
Right. So I had
Right.
to like we had to do it, and then we got to a place where we were like, okay, ain't no turning back. And then I brought my parents in because I wanted them to at least see
the vision,
we're
see
putting walls
the
up.
stuff, right,
And
put
my
walls up.
dad said, "Y'all, it's crazy."
Yeah.
Ah.
But at the same time, there is a time where you just cannot share that information because you got to be focused
Yes.
on what it is that you're called to do.
Shout out to some other people in the comments. Ron Hobson, he said it's such a slippery slope. Dealing with confidence issues.
Yeah.
Everyone struggles with it at some point. Thank you, Jalen Turner. What's up? Welcome.
Yes.
Yvonne, good morning. Thank you for being here. Right. So
Yeah.
one of the things that I really want to say, and this is something that I think is important, we have to be. I think we're tricked on both sides. We're tricked on one side to be so overconfident that we get confident in things happening without doing things.
Ooh.
So it says faith without works is dead. People will have faith that something's going to happen for them without them doing the thing to make it happen. They're believing they're going to get a crop or get a return without an investment. They're going to get a crop without a planting seeds. They're going to get, because I just believe this is what God has for me. I just believe I'm good enough. I believe I deserve it. I believe for some reason I'm going to have a good marriage. I'm going to have good children. I'm going to have a good job because I deserve it because I'm a good person. Well, good people alone, bad things happen to good people every single day. It's not being good. It's doing the things to get what you want, period. Good, the sun, it rains and shines on the good and the bad, the good and the evil. It all happens to everybody, right? Time and chance happens to all people. So really it's about us planting seeds and doing and going for what we want. Most people are not doing the things to get what they say they want. They're waiting on the bus to pick them up.
Yes.
I am not waiting on a bus. I'm driving the bus. I'm not waiting on something to happen. I'm making stuff happen. But that comes from confidence. The reason most people aren't making stuff happen is because they don't believe in themselves. So on one hand, and here's what else happened. Very confident people tricked us into not being confident. And a lot of confident people tricked us into not being confident through faith, because people gave us scripture, but then they didn't want us to see the power that the scripture was giving us to say, like when you look at what Jesus was saying, he was saying, be like me. Well, if you're going to be like Jesus, that dude was talking that talk.
Period.
There's
Yes.
never been anybody in the history of the world that talked more. He said him and God are the same person.
Right.
That sounds crazy. You have to understand, he was born to a woman in a manger somewhere one day, right? He was a dude that they saw walking around. He grew up as a kid just like everybody else. You've seen plenty of little knucklehead kids grow up and people run around and grow up and say they somebody special, and you're like, I don't know, right? Or they something, and you're like, cool, King James, LeBron is the chosen one, cool. I've seen him prove himself. But if LeBron was like, no, for real though, I'm not even just a child of God. I am God. I am not him. Like we be saying I'm him. He like, no, I'm
him.
H-I, capital H-I-M. I'm him. And then he was like, I am the way. Like, he's like, no man gets to my dad. What? That is crazy. You think about the rest of the world before him, but we're going to God. And now he's like, nobody goes to God except through me. What? Just you? He's like, just through me. That's a crazy statement. Like, you have to think about how wild it was, how
Especially
bold
in
he
that
was.
time.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh my
It's-
gosh!
it's
Because like now you hear about people saying, "Well, I'm the one." You know,
Yes, you
it's
hear that.
crazy.
But this one dude in one
back
place,
then,
in one state, in one
religion
town.
and that was life. It was life.
Listen.
It was all things. So he was putting
was
his life
bold.
at risk,
And
right,
he was
by saying these
literally,
things.
and this is
Yes.
what I think people need to. I'm going to, in my life, err on the side of confidence instead of cautionary lack of confidence to make other people feel comfortable. If you're uncomfortable with my confidence, that's too bad for you. It is your lack of confidence that is uncomfortable with my confidence. That's what it is. Because I don't love you any less. Now, there are I think people who are putting other people down aren't as confident as they say they are. So we think it's overconfidence. Those people are actually not confident and they're overcompensating by putting other people down. For me, I'm confident, so I never have to put anybody down. I'm boosting everybody up all day.
Yeah.
what somebody else says about you is a reflection of them.
Yeah.
When
Right.
they put
Yes.
that out, or she ain't gonna good. You think that about you.
Yes.
It ain't got nothing to do with me, because half the time there's been things said about me, and I'm like, well, dang, what I do to you? Nothing.
Yes.
Nothing.
Right.
It's
Well,
what you can't do for
sometimes
you.
it's also the fact that people want to do what you're doing.
Yeah,
True.
it does.
And so there is a lack of confidence because and they don't even realize it. Okay, well, this person is up here, they're doing, Danny's on this show, she's doing all these different things,
Right.
just as an example. And I mean, it's probably true. She's doing all these things, what have you. Well, she's X, Y, and Z. She's this. She's
She
that.
that good at it.
But
She
but
this,
in the
she-
background, they don't have the confidence to even
even
get
do
up.
it.
But they
That's
want
true.
to, though.
Right.
But they
gotta
want
tear you
to.
down
And
somehow.
so it has to be kind of like this tear down piece. And I just and I don't even think that sometimes people even realize that
No.
that's the root of where they're coming from.
Yes, I think a lot of the
Yes.
things that we, and I always say we, because as much as I want to talk about y'all, I talk about these kinds of things because I want it to be talked about so that someone can look in the mirror and have a realization and be like, maybe maybe I'm like that.
Right.
Maybe that's the way I operate. Maybe that's how I gotta do better. Like, I don't never want to be out here talking about somebody just to put you down.
Right.
Like, I want you. Sometimes I do want it to hurt, because you gotta feel that to be like, all right, what's going on? Because I have been in situations, and I just talked about this, where somebody had to tell me about myself, and it wasn't easy to hear. I'm like, who are you talking to? Like,
Right.
like, but in the midst of it, your ego and your emotions. I was younger when I was going through this. They get the best of you, and you really are like, who you think you talking to?
Right.
But later down the road, I thought about some of those situations and those conversations that I had with people, and in my head, I'm like, they don't know what they're talking about, or they don't like me, or they don't. No, they seen something, and they say, you need to figure this out. But as a young girl, I don't want to hear the bad parts.
Right.
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 I'm trying to, and I'm thinking I'm doing good, and I'm thinking I'm doing great, and I'm thinking, and then somebody's like, hey, I'm like,
That
who you talking to?
sucks.
But to be able to look in the mirror and be like,
That's
I
why
am
relationships
struggling
are
with
so
some stuff.
challenging.
Yeah, I am struggling with some stuff, and I do,
Yeah.
so sometimes we got to hear these kinds of things, because it might be you that we're talking about, and that's okay. You just got to look in the mirror and get better, okay?
Yes.
That's all.
Shout out to John. He said to know that you are enough is the essence of confidence, right?
Yes.
Right. People do project their beliefs of good or bad, right?
Yep.
We gotta, I want you guys to leave here today. What's up, Lisa? Cork and Canvas in the building. What's up? We gotta watch that. She just dropped us with a little YouTube. What's up?
Okay.
What's up, Zanita? Watching from YouTube. What's up? What's up? I want to challenge everybody today as you guys go into this season. We're coming into the spring season. It is a time for new growth and new beginnings. Like, we'll be at the end of this month into the spring season. And I don't care how cold it is in Ohio, the spring season means a thing, right? It is a time for sowing, right? So start planting those seeds. Start thinking about who you want to be. But you got to talk to yourself. Olivia, who's running our show right now, she said to me the other day, she's like, I've never heard anybody give themselves more positive affirmation than you.
Got to.
But she's like, but go ahead. Keep going, right?
Keep going.
I just can't even help it anymore because I wasn't always that person.
Yeah.
I was always like so busy trying to build everybody else up and put myself down like, no, I'm nothing. You're everything. No, I'm everything and you're everything. We can all be everything. Let's go be everything.
The power of your words.
Absolutely.
I've said it on the show before, but if you wake up and be like, it's snowing outside, today it's going to suck. Guess what?
It's
Today
going to
might
suck.
Yeah.
It's going to suck.
The power of tongue is so strong.
It's the
Right.
power of the tongue and the power of a plan.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
If you saying
Yes.
like, I ain't
Yes.
never got no money,
You ain't never going to have no
you're
money.
never gonna. You're
'Cause
bringing that.
you are deflecting it.
yourself.
You're cursing.
Bringing that stuff.
Yeah.
You are
Oh,
cursing.
you're cursing.
4-letter words are much less of curse words than all those negative things you say about yourself. If you say a negative thing over yourself, you're blocking
create.
blessings,
Yes,
you're
they do.
blocking positive things coming into your life, and that is a curse. To say to somebody, go to hell is in essence is to say go to a negative place. That's a curse. But we put ourselves in hell every day. Well, today's going to be a bad day. You just put yourself in hell. Well, this ain't going to work. That ain't going to work. Nothing's going to work out for me. You're putting yourself in a bad place. You're cursing yourself. I love how you said
I
that.
want to share something else before we switch. Are we switching?
Yeah, we about to.
'Cause I can see that. I see. I got the energy.
Danny goes,
I can feel
runs the flow. She does it all. She
She's
does. She
like, yes, we're
produces.
switching.
Right. Yes. She's like,
You know,
yes.
your confidence is also your faith.
Yes.
So because and this just came on me. So a lot of times we see people out there, and you're like, man, I wish that I could do that. And it can shift. So it can either be something where it's inspiring to you, or it becomes jealousy.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times I think it turns and transpires into jealousy, where really it should just be an inspiration. But your confidence in God and your walk, for our believers out there, your confidence in that, you should know you're not missing anything.
Right.
You know, just because you're not in the spotlight at that moment, or you're not, there are the background of people, like people that play the background help the people that are in the spotlight.
Yes.
And it's so uplifting. And we were talking about this last week with the brawl, and I know we're getting ready to get to that. But the people that play the background, they help create the spotlight.
So
and they do. They matter so much. We talk about Christ, but in that journey, his mom had to have faith. Joseph had to have faith. You know, all these people, the generations before him, they all had to have faith in order for us to say that he's Christ.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So everybody's position, but it matters, you know, and it's meaningful. But I think, because sometimes I'll see things, because there's new things that I want to do. That's the way my brain works. I always have an idea, and I'm like, oh, I should do this or I should do that. But I really, you know, sometimes you just don't have the time. And then you'll see somebody else do something. I'm like, that's what I wanted to do. And then I'll be like, Lord, but I have to have the confidence. It's like, when it's time, and I have to trust that I'm walking with him, and then when it's time, it'll come.
Yes. Yes.
I've been learning
Love
that a lot.
that.
Just
Love
being
that.
timely with things. Listen, you guys, we're having a great time.
You guys are doing
I
great
love
too.
guys
Thank
in
you
the comments.
guys.
Thank you. We're gonna circle right back around to this conversation. Don't go nowhere. We're not done. This is the main conversation, the main topic for the day.
We're gonna keep talking about
we're
it.
gonna keep talking
Okay,
about
so don't go
the
anywhere.
evolution. So we're gonna switch the conversation up a little bit later, but still on the same kind of topic. The Brawl 3 is coming up. Marquise and his wife Talia was in the building last week. We got to talk to them, and that is happening tomorrow. So make sure you guys get in the building, okay? Saturday, March 8th. All right, tomorrow at the Civic Center, we will be in the building. Make sure you guys come out for that.
Tickets are still available. I think
Tickets are
tickets
still
are
available.
35,
Yep.
25. They're not too bad. They're not expensive,
bad, not
but there's
bad.
amateur and pro fights.
Yeah, so it
live
is a
in
little
Canton,
more
Ohio.
from last year's, but that is because there is a
Pro fight.
semi-pro
Yeah.
fight. So keep that in mind, but make sure that we still go out and we support.
Pro-am.
Okay,
Yeah.
Pro-am.
Pro-am, yeah.
Make sure we go out and we support. Okay, we love that this is in our city. It's local people putting this on. United Boxing Club, right on the west side of Canton. I think at the southwest.
Northwest side, yep.
Northwest side of Canton. It's right by my house. So it's so
Yeah, it's so
weird.
close.
It's so
It
weird,
is.
so
So,
close.
right.
Make sure you guys go out there and check that out, okay? We also got the Morocco trip coming up. Lucas,
Yes.
I'm going to show you guys a clip, okay? If you guys, look, if you find it in your heart
Yes.
to want to help some of our babies go to Morocco, please do. I want to show you a clip of this super special kid that wants to go to Morocco.
Please
and
stay
he
right here. Don't
needs
go
your
anywhere.
help,
Check this
okay?
out.
Check this out real quick.
Hello, my name is Carlo Rolla, and I'm a freshman that attends Early College High School in Kansas City Schools. I was on the McKinley freshman basketball team that won the Federal League Championship this year. I am also in McKinley Band and McKinley Singers. I also have a 4.5 GPA. Last year, I was given the opportunity to go overseas to Morocco, Africa to play basketball. But this trip wasn't just about basketball. We got to learn about the Moroccans' culture. We also got to interact with their customs and their people. I also was featured on the Moroccan national news and got interviewed for the tournament. This year, I will be going back, and I will be a youth sports guide, and I will be helping out the kids going this year and guiding them along the way. I hope I can see this trip from a new perspective since I will not be playing this year, and I hope I can use the experiences I get there in my life back here. Thank you.
I don't know if he is.
All right, listen, that was amazing. Okay, if y'all want to send him to Morocco, please make sure that you get a hold of.
Yeah, Latrice Varola is his mother's name. I don't know if we have the flyer there, but you guys can reach out to us as well. A little donation, $5, $10, $20. You never know. You could give up a little something and help a young man from Canton, Ohio, go all the way to Africa for a trip to represent our youth locally and playing basketball and doing some things. He's a 4.5 GPA
Wow.
student, I believe.
All right, let's
Great
go.
young man. It's just an opportunity. So often we don't we have a little extra and we don't give a little extra. You know, we just waste a little extra. I can get myself one more thing.
Yeah.
Whereas we could help somebody have an experience that will change their lives. So please consider donating. If you want to, please reach out to me, reach out to us. We can help you make that donation as well.
Sometimes people think that $20, $25, oh, it's not going to do anything.
Man.
If 10 people do it, it's a difference.
That makes a difference.
And I tell people that
that's all that money. People,
Yeah.
And I'm thinking people sending in they gotta be sending in $500. They gotta be sending in $1,000 to get that much money. But there's just so many supporters and people that are wanting to donate, and they can send $20, $30, and it helps.
So give. Don't feel discouraged if all you can give is 20 or 25, even if it's $5. Give.
Yes.
All right, you guys, listen. I worked really hard last night on this sports segment. Me and Brandon were in here, and y'all don't know what we were going through. Okay,
Take a deep breath.
Was going crazy. The camera was going crazy.
I was on FaceTime like
Lucas was gone. He wasn't here. I'm usually in front of the camera, not behind it.
Right.
So I'm like, I have to know these things. So I'm like, first of all, over there, it's crazy over there. I don't even want to see this.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to have.
Me and Brandon, I was over here like this, like read it, Brandon. Just read it. Read it. That's how we went. That's how we did it. But Brandon is doing a great job, you guys.
Brandon Givens Davis, shout out to him, our sports reporter.
So I want you guys to watch this with that in mind. Like, we got this young man that is stepping into his purpose, okay? He's stepping in this with confidence. Talking about confidence. He is growing in confidence from the first couple of videos to now. Just his will and want to do it.
Yeah. And to highlight so many great things. There's a lot of great athletes in our community. Yeah. You may see some young people on this highlight. Hit those hearts, hit those likes, tell them, tag them, share, tell their parents, say, hey, did you know your child was on Lucas Live News? They were talking about your family, your kids, our team, our coaches.
Yeah, Brandon goes out, he gets all the information. I don't chat GPT nothing, okay? What y'all hear is what he is typing in his phone and putting directly in it. I don't do nothing but copy and paste it. So the way that he is able to talk about what he's talking about, I can see Brandon will be definitely the head of our sports.
Let's go.
Here soon because he is on it. I did the edits, so y'all let me know what y'all think. But this is our sports recap. We're shouting out and highlighting the McKinley Bulldogs. So this is all that has happened in the last week. Shout out to Canton McKinley Bulldogs. Here is the sports recap.
Good morning, this is Brandon Givens Davis with another weekly sports recap. The McKinley Bulldogs are on fire. McKinley took down Medina 64-51 to claim their first district championship since 2020. They kept the momentum going with a nail-biting 64-60 victory over Toledo Whitmer in the regional semifinals. Next stop, regional finals. McKinley faces St. Ignatius tomorrow, March 8th at 7 p.m. at Kent State University. Let's pack the stands and cheer them on. Go Pups. Now for some individual player and coach spotlights. We had Reed Sims Jr., who was voted All-Federal League First Team. Anthony Chavers was voted All-Federal League Second Team. And Ed Webster and Jalen Jeter were voted All-Federal League Honorable Mention. We also had assistant coach Jay Keys win Federal League Assistant Coach of the Year, along with head coach Sean Weatherspoon, who won Federal League Coach of the Year. We want to give a huge congratulations to them on a great season, and we look forward to seeing the rest of the journey. And now for a shout out for our Lady Pups. We had Kaylin Carter voted All-Federal League Second Team, and Maya Taylor voted All-Federal League First Team. Congratulations to our Lady Pups on a great season. The McKinley Bulldogs are state-bound. A huge congrats to Ben Brownfield for making it to the state tournament. Ben also earned All-Federal League Second Team honors, along with teammates Demir Hamilton and Dylan Kuhn, who are recognized as honorable mentions. Congrats on a great season, and we look forward to seeing Ben's journey in the state tournament. This is Brandon Givens Davis with another weekly sports recap. Don't forget to get out and show our pups some support at Kent State University tomorrow at 7 p.m. I'll send it back to our host. Have a great rest of your weekend, and go Pups.
Shout out to Brandon.
Shout out to Brandon. Sports segment.
What a wonderful recap.
Let's go.
So good. I'm telling y'all, he is doing an amazing job.
Yes.
It's
awesome.
Y'all loving him. Thank you guys for, encouraging him, encouraging us when we're doing our thing, because that's how we so into each other too, right? That's just, we're talking about confidence too. We got to do our part in instilling that into others, right? If we see that, Brandon wasn't super confident when it came to getting in front of the camera. He was like, "Nah, I'll just record it. You can put it up." I'm like, "No, let's try this." He's like, "Okay," but he thanked me for just pushing him into that, because sometimes
to nurture our gifts.
Exactly, because sometimes
you look like you know what you're doing.
Yeah, you do.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's around look like you knew what he was doing. What's going on? Let's go. boy look good. That boy good.
Yeah, so shout out to
Yeah,
Brandon.
that boy good.
Shout out to Reed Simmons Jr.
Yeah, shout out to Reed Simmons Jr. We just found out last night, breaking news. Reed Simmons Jr. Was the Stark County Athlete of the Week.
Oh, wow.
Everyone who voted, shout out to everyone who voted. Bulldog Nation, Reed Simmons Jr. has been putting on a show, has done such a great job at Camp McKinley, over 1,000 points, has a historic career at this point already, and they're going and growing and continuing to put on for the city. Great job, Camp McKinley. Great job, Coach Spoon. Everybody over there. Something to be proud of,
Something
you know.
to be proud.
It's something to watch Coach Spoon.
Yes.
It's something
And
to
his
watch.
coaching staff.
Yeah,
The
and his
people that
staff.
he
That's what I'm
brought
gonna say.
on with
Like
him, too.
even Jay Keys. Like
Yeah.
these are folks who have been in the community
Right.
for a long time, and that in different roles.
Yeah.
Though. It's not always you can mentor and you can be available to young people,
Yes.
but they haven't always just been available as coaches. They've been available just as mentors,
Yeah.
in different job titles and things like that. And so just to see that, it's great to see that.
Yeah.
It really is.
I love seeing, men like Sean Weatherspoon. We had Nate Chester in the building the other day.
Yeah.
Shout out to Nate.
He was just in the
Chester.
building. I mean, he wasn't on the show. He was just in the building.
building.
Everybody be in the building. We have all kinds of people just in the studio.
I've been a coach, and I'm not this like buttoned up kind of individual. I love my dunks. I love my whatever my outfits, my fashion. I'm into all of that. The certain music that I listen to, and I think it's good to have representation in our schools and in our community, with our coaching staff, with our teachers, people that can relate to us, to our kids that look like us, because sometimes it just matters, right?
Yeah.
If I'm a young man or a young girl and I see a woman walking up to me in her stiletto heels and her suit, or a guy with a suit and tie, I might be a little intimidated. You might have a great message for me, right? You might have something great to tell me, but I might not be as receptive because just the way that you look is already intimidating. And yes, we should look like that.
We should show 'em the next
That's part.
level.
We should show them the
Yep.
next level. But
And at the
upon,
same time,
that initial engagement and seeing that person, if the buttoned up thing is how you come in,
Listen, I
don't
used to
dim your
switch it
light.
up. When I used to work with young
but-
people, I switched it up. They know me like this.
Yeah.
But then when it was time, I'm wearing a suit.
Yes.
Because
Right.
I want them to know when it's
Yes,
time.
when it's
You know what I
time.
mean? There's a
Yes.
time for everything.
Yes.
So it's a time for us to be laid back, but then there's also a time where you need to straighten up, stand up, sit up straight. So and allow them to have that, you know what I mean?
Yes.
What is it? What is the word? What's the word?
it's that I don't know. I want to say dichotomy, but that's not the word you're looking for. You're looking for like you're looking for a word that's like they can do multiple things.
Thank you,
Eclectic.
Brandon.
They're
You feel me back
dichotomous.
here.
Eclectic, dichotomous. I don't know. Those are the words in my head.
I didn't know I was
Sorry.
sitting next to the Webster's
I
dictionary.
didn't.
Right.
Sorry.
Lord.
That's the words that came to me. There's a book right there called
My point
Dichotomy.
of all
Anyway.
of that though is just I don't want to talk. I want Nate on the show because he
Yes.
has some really good things to say, and I think that's where my inspiration for the topic of the show came from. Is that we have to, first of all, we may not always be proud of our past. We may not always be proud of the person that we once was. Right? There's a lot of people I know right now in the chat right now that are not the same people they was in high school, as a young adult, any of that, right? But we can't be so ashamed of our past that we don't step into our purpose in the future. Because a lot of the times we hold ourselves back because we think someone's going to judge us because of what we did in the past. Oh, I was in the streets in the past. Now I can't be over here preaching the word. How that look?
Yeah.
Or I was,
Right.
I was, this mean, negative person in the past. How I look saying I'm on my spiritual journey and I'm just so sweet and I want to, how that look, But why be worried about how I look?
Right.
Why
right,
we worried? Why are we worried about what somebody is going to think? Because what I was saying is, and I'm going to keep it real.
Keep it
right?
real,
What I
Danny.
said was,
Tell them what you gonna tell
A lot of the times people will have so much to say from the couch,
them.
from the car, from the same car that you can't, because you ain't got a better job, or you didn't get your education, you didn't do what you had to do
Yes.
to put yourself in a better situation. So what you're doing from the same place
Yep.
is talking about everybody else.
Yep.
And if that person is worried about what you're saying from the couch, how am I? Why?
So
Right.
so-
Right.
Why?
Why?
And while
Why?
we're saying that though,
It is why.
while you're saying that they're talking from the couch because they made X, Y, and Z decisions,
Yep.
they don't know that they can still that they still have opportunity.
And they should be calling you saying, "Hey, how did you get this?"
And I think that's the other part that we, you know, it's like, yeah, they're on the couch. They made these decisions. They didn't do this. I'm an adult learner. I didn't get my master's till I was almost I was 35 years old. I got my bachelor's when I was like 33. And I mean, I was an adult learner because of the decisions. And you know, and I used to be like, yeah, I'm going to school. I used to tell people, because all my friends was going to school. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to school. I wasn't going to school. I was in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was in these streets.
You signed up.
When you step out and do those things, people don't even, I hope so. I don't know who all in the chat, but people don't even remember me from that anymore. That's not how people know me.
Maybe
you know?
Because people might still be like, man, she used to, because that's how people are. But what I was also thinking is like, you know, as we become adults and we get older and we do step into different, you know, interests in different work fields, there's different people, there's different other adults that now you're creating relationships with. So now everyone knows you as Lily, the sweet lady that does
so sweet,
right? She's
right. Oh, sweet Lily.
And then
catch me outside.
Catch outside though. She different. She different. Don't catch outside.
From that perspective of like, what are they gonna think of me? Like for me, you know, I don't think I've always been the nicest, you know, person or the Danny that everybody, you know, knows me as. Like I made a post the other day. I said, "Play out of park. Just playing with me ain't it." And I had a friend in there, and she got into like, "Oh, Danny." She said, "Yeah, because these folks don't know you like I know you." And I was like, "Because I know her. I knew her from high school, so she really, you know, she knows me." Now I wasn't on Facebook. I'm going to beat somebody up. I was just making a statement, right? But I stepped into doing cheer camps, right? And I'm working with kids.
Yeah.
And now, you know, I'm doing Lucas Live Media, and I'm on here, and I'm always positive. I'm always talking about the highlighting the great things we're doing in Canton.
Yeah.
You know, I did She Elevates, and I'm now Miss Mentor. And if I cared about what people thought about me, now I did. When I first started them cheer camps, I was like, are people going to send their kids? Are they going to trust their kids with me?
Right.
Are they going to think that I can be someone that their kids can look up to, someone trusted? Not that I was just, you know, in the streets like that, but I just, you know,
I had an experience like that. When I was young, I did a dance team when I was younger, and I had just gotten off of, we keep saying the streets.
I know, I went in the streets, like, y'all.
Oh, I was.
She was in the streets.
I wasn't.
Right.
I was a little different. I was argumentative. You know, I would get into fights. I would, you know, just not be the best to my teachers and to my coaches, and just, you know, just kid stuff, right? Just kid stuff. But so when you step in, you know, you become an adult and you do things a little different. I guess you just have those thoughts about what people might think of you. So having those thoughts and then stepping into that, that's what might scare people. It's like, what are you gonna think about me because I've already been this person. You know, we got people like Nate Chester that was, you know, maybe I don't, you know, in the streets a little bit, and then I'm sorry,
I don't know his business. He was maybe in the streets a little bit.
He's like for real.
What?
But now in city council, you know, he served on the city council board. He is working at the Martin Center, and he's helping these kids and in barbershops and doing all of this stuff, right?
Yeah.
But that's the story.
That's what makes him relatable to those kids, and
that's what makes you relatable. But that's the story we're supposed to have.
Yes.
It's okay to have the timeline.
Right.
Yeah, that's what's supposed to happen. Because that's what makes you the trusted adult. Now you have the experiences. You can be transparent. You can say, "I did it, bro. It ain't work for me, bro.
That's it.
Do this. Let's go. Let's do it like this." And you can see, you know, you can still see me, but do it like this.
People don't often understand that. And shout out to Tyler Thatcher, talked earlier in the comments about as a coach, he used to dress the way the kids dress, or at least wore the same colors. They used to wear the same color coordination as the kids, which is just a slight signal to them that I'm with you. I'm one of my favorite quotes is, "A leader must be close enough to relate to their followers, but far enough ahead to motivate them." Close enough to relate, far enough ahead to motivate them. I'm close enough. I understand you. I can dress like this, and yet I'm still far enough ahead to coach you. So shout out to him for that.
Love that.
As I think about us relating to people, and shout out to Panther as well for a comment. It's hard to relate to people when you don't know who you are. So first and foremost, we got to get confident in who we are, because that messes us up. Go ahead.
Shout out to my mom.
Yes, go ahead.
Shout out to my mom. Okay, and mom. Ooh.
Go ahead. You gonna cry?
Yeah, cry.
The
It's
other day
okay.
I was talking to
Go ahead,
DJ.
girl.
Wow, I know I was getting ready to cry.
Oh.
My mom has been sober for 6 years. She was
Mm.
an alcoholic for majority all my life. And there's been a lot of things that I thought about her, especially as a little girl. You know, I needed my mom in certain times, and she couldn't be there for me the way I needed her to be there. Um, and I was telling DJ like, you don't know my mom, you don't know the real, you don't. And both of my parents were alcoholics. Um, my mom, like I said, been 6 years sober because my son is
Beautiful.
6 years old.
That's
When I got
beautiful.
pregnant with my son, she said, "I'm not drinking no more."
I love
And
that.
she
That's
never,
That's
beautiful.
powerful.
she never did
That is
again.
powerful.
And I was just telling DJ how proud I was of her because for a long time, when I was younger, I told my mom like, I feel like you love alcohol more than me. And I thought when I told her that, she would stop. She would stop drinking because that was deep.
Yeah.
But it had her so in a chokehold.
Yeah.
And as a young girl and as a young adult, I didn't
You don't
understand it.
understand
I
addiction.
didn't
That's hard.
understand it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, she don't like us, she don't this, she don't that. And I never told my mom, and so I can't believe I'm standing on. I gotta talk to her. We gotta have a little lunch, Mom. Sorry, but I was telling DJ how proud I was of her because I spent so long being, resenting her and not having the best relationship with her because of how she operated in her addiction. But that's not her anymore.
Yeah.
For real, for real.
Yeah.
And I was looking and I was telling DJ, I'm like, I don't think I ever thought I would see the day my mom would be sober. Like the way that she is, you don't even understand how bad it was.
Yeah.
So to see her, just even engaging in the comments, talking to us,
Always here.
getting my
Always
son,
support.
all of that.
Yeah. It means
Yeah.
a lot. Oh, shout out to you, Daddy.
That's
And
huge.
shout
And
out
I
to
tell you
Lori.
what, just listening to that, it's like
Yes, can somebody bring a tissue?
just listening to that, it's like she did love you more because she knew that she needed to help you. You know what I'm saying?
Yep,
So
when you had
it's
your
like
son.
mamas know when it's time to get in mommy mode. You know what I
Right.
mean? And-
Right.
but that's so sweet.
That's
That is so
beautiful,
sweet.
and yeah, such a beautiful person, and we all go through those stories. You know, my mom, I adore my mom, and I dedicated this show to my mom, and my mom spent a lot of days drinking in my life, and there was a lot of things that happened in my life that I wish didn't happen, and my mom was drinking. Like she went to work every day, and everything,
Yeah.
but she came home and she drank every night, and this whole thing was dedicated to my mom. Lucas Live Media is dedicated to my mom, and people wouldn't understand how imperfect my mom was. Like she was very imperfect, and a lot of bad things happened in my life because my mom didn't always make the right choices. But I honor, love, and respect her, and appreciate every sacrifice she ever made for me. And we all have a story, and people don't understand that. They don't know.
I think as children, we don't understand that our parents are human.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of times
They're growing up, too.
we're growing up because they're training us. So we're like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like I'm looking to you. I'm looking to you. But now like I look back and I look at some of the things that my parents did, and at the end of the day, they were at every game. They was at every, you know what I mean? They were at every parent-teacher conference. They've helped me with my children. I've always been very open about that like my parents helped me raise my kids.
Yeah.
And so, when the things that when you're young, you're like, I can't believe they did this, or I can't believe it's called being human.
Yeah.
It's called being like living
Yes,
life. Look at what we do.
Yeah.
I'm sitting up here talking about being in the streets.
Right.
Not the streets. The
Streets with a K.
But I mean, when I had a year prior to me having my son, I changed my life. I rededicated my life to Christ, and rededicated. So that when you hear the rededicated, I was raised in the church. I was speaking in tongues. I'm talking about apostolic raised, and went to the streets. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you don't know what people's stories are, but if it had not been for my son, I tell people all the time, if it had not been for my oldest being born, I would not have just completely straightened out.
Wow.
Like he kept me on a straight and narrow.
Wow.
And God knows what we need. Like he knows what we need. So he knew what your mom needed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like addiction is tough. It's something that is so strong. But he knew what she needed, and he knew what you needed, and he knew what your son needed.
Yeah.
And that's the perfection of God. But I will say that, when we look at our parents, we have this vision of perfection.
Yeah.
And it's not perfect, but we can learn from them, and we can, and then when we go through it, because some of the things that I look at what my parents did, I'm like, Well, shoot, I'm doing the same thing. You know, I'm not a perfect parent.
Yeah.
I have wonderful kids. I strive to be the best mom, but I've put my kids in positions or situations that I said I would never put them in.
Oh my goodness.
Never put them in.
Yeah.
And but I love them, and I do anything for them. But sometimes that life, it will hit you, boy.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, it's all about grace and giving people grace and forgiveness, and that's what it's all about today.
I love that.
Well,
love
every
that.
day.
Tyler said I never miss a moment to tell my mom after all she went through when we were kids. I thank her for never letting her circumstances get in the way of raising, caring, and loving the kids the best she could. And my mom was in there and said thank you and you're welcome.
Her
God,
girls,
you're unlocking
Therese.
emotions this early in the morning and
I
giving real life
know.
words. You know, I mean, that was the motivation again for just this show. You know, I made that video yesterday. That I really want people to get on and have this conversation. I really just wanted to be again relatable, right? Like
Yeah.
I love talking about the news and I love, you know, letting you guys know what's going on in the community. And I still want to be the hub for that. But I also want to get on here and have real conversations because we're real people too, and we have these conversations regularly on the day to day. So like I said, Nate was in the studio and we had this conversation and now we're having it with you guys. So shout out to our moms and shout out to you know the people that are put in positions to raise us because they're like my mom said when back when I was a kid, there is no handbook for this.
Right.
So we have to learn on the fly. We have to
Figuring
learn
it out.
those around us. And then we have to figure things out on our own. You know, I always said it's so funny. I never thought I would be the one to be like, it didn't work out how I thought it was going to work out. I said, I knew how I was going to be a parent. I'm going to do it this way and that way because and I became a parent and was like.
It wasn't that easy.
I was supposed to be like, I'm going to be this really fun parent. I'm going to be so fun. I'm going to be so fun. And I was, and I am.
Yeah,
I still am. I'm doing my,
I just
doing it all. You know what I mean? I'm doing it all. Like I play basketball with my sons. I've always done that. I've always danced with my daughter. Like, but then there's a time. You know what I mean? There is a time, and I'm the disciplined parent. No, you're gonna get off the phone. You're gonna do the homework. You're going to school. Like that. That's where I'm at. And so sometimes I'm not the cool parent.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not, and it sucks.
Yeah.
You know, it sucks, but it helps them. You know. So
Absolutely.
All right, you
Love
guys.
it.
So let's get back and finish, you know, or get back into our conversation about just, you know, confidence and stepping into confidence. I wanted to ask you guys, like, what's something like maybe about yourself that you're learning to really own with confidence? Like,
dang, Danny, you on some deep
I'm
stuff. What's
sorry,
today?
Y'all got that though, right?
like because there's so much that we go through,
Great
right?
questions this
Especially
morning.
with confidence, okay? There's so much that we go through. And then there's just one thing that we really want to just hone on to and stand in power with. So yeah, what's something that you know are learning to just own? Like this is who I am, this is how I am, and like it, love it, leave it. This is
My voice.
okay.
Yeah, like when we talked about dumbing down, like sometimes I'm like, don't say that, don't da. But no, this is who I am.
Yes.
And I've been in relationships where it's like, well, you're too this or you're too that and you're too such and such and you just can't tame me. You see what I'm saying? You just can't tame me. You ain't the one.
Okay.
Because I'm just saying you couldn't handle it.
That's what it
You know
was.
I
That's
mean?
all
You
it
just
was.
couldn't handle me.
Right.
And that's how I want people to view themselves. As long as you're not being disrespectful, you know what I mean? Or you're not coming from a place of disrespect, but you coming from a place of confidence and just being strong. There we go with that balance again. And I used to feel like, man, maybe I am just mean. And I was told I wasn't liked. I was told that I was mean. I was told that I was this.
Told I was the B
Yes,
word,
yes.
and I was stuck up. And I was
Yes,
all
like
these
that's why
things.
people don't like you. And these were in relate, like this is why people don't like you.
Man.
This is why such and such and such. And so I'm just like, man, I'm really mean.
Yeah.
Man, I'm like, I have a bad attitude. Man, no, it's actually you that's giving me the bad attitude. It's actually the people that I'm around right now that's giving me the bad
Because you
attitude.
know what? I've always been a bad person. I reciprocated energy.
Oh, yeah.
So if you was getting nasty with me, I'm coming at you with that too.
Yeah.
I had to learn that.
You see my, I got the Nino Brown on it. I'm Nino
I
Brown.
see.
I'm like,
We scared. We got the dog and everything. We was
your
nervous.
$5
Come on, make change. See it coming. I was nervous. I was over here scared, y'all.
but
Just so y'all know.
seriously, like I I was told those things. So now I'm like, no, I wasn't mean. I had a voice though. I'll cut you with this tongue, and it's not good.
Yep.
But I've learned to tame it.
Yep.
And I'm also not in an environment where I got to go there.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So that changes things.
Yes.
Here we go again with my onion. This is a 2-part question. It depends on your surroundings, the people that you're around. You know, so your voice, the voice that God gives you, the confidence that he gives you in an area. I heard you earlier, you said something, and I didn't want to interrupt you, even though I've been interrupting all morning. But you said something about the bad thing, the bad part about you, right? No. The bad part is the good part. It's actually a good part.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The passion. Like if I'm a fighter, you are a fighter, but you fighting in a different way. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it goes a different way.
Yeah.
So I was the same way. Like, oh, okay, you ready? Let's go.
Right,
You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
But now the Lord has shown me how to fight a different way.
Yeah.
I'm fighting up here.
Yes.
I don't give up here.
Yes.
You can't hurt me up
Yes.
here.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, so it's all like a different thing. So my voice, even though I'm losing it right now,
Right.
my voice is something that has always like I've dumbed it down because I felt like maybe I am mean. Maybe people really don't like me. Maybe such and such. No. You wasn't strong enough to deal with this.
Yeah.
So now, like I'm with my husband now, and I can be me.
Yeah.
And we can laugh, and I can have my voice,
Yes.
and he has his voice, and I know when it's time
Yep.
for me to be
Yep.
the wife,
Yeah.
and he's the head. You understand? Because there's respect there, and so I don't have
These
to.
deep
I
conversations.
don't have to cut you with my tongue. I don't have to be disrespectful. But now my tongue is here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
You got a
So
place.
That's
Right.
the difference. God will guide you to use those. So there is no bad part. The passion, we talked about Moses earlier. The passion that Moses had was awesome. Like he was like, ugh. You know what I mean? It didn't get him into the promised land, but it got his people into the promised land. You know what I mean? That passion that he had. And he was direct, and he gave laws, and he gave order. And it's the same thing with Christ.
Yeah.
He wasn't out here, you was talking about him earlier. He
Right.
wasn't out here like, okay,
Uh-huh.
this is what we need to do.
Talking that
no,
talk.
he was like, what's up?
Talking
This
that
is what
talk.
it is.
Yeah, like what's wrong with y'all? He flipping tables over. Have y'all lost your mind?
Right.
You know what I mean? There's nothing bad about the voice as long as it's used the right way.
Yeah.
Right.
So there you go.
I love
Love
that.
it. Love it.
I love
Love
that.
it.
Love that. Listen, the comments again, y'all going crazy. Jacqueline said, but she said that she has a nonprofit girls conversations called Speak Up. And she said the conversation we're having right now is a conversation that she's having with them young girls.
Love
And I
that.
think this is a conversation that needs to be had. So
Yes.
shout out to you for having that conversation with those girls.
I'm trying to show her. We got some people on TikTok live too. Shout out to them. I'm trying to show them the screen because all they see is a green screen. There's some people popping in and out. I can't see them. They just join. They join.
Yeah.
There's some people popping in and out. What's up, people who are watching us on TikTok live? What's up? We're glad you guys are here.
Okay.
Hit those hearts. Hit that screen. Say what's up. Let us know you're here.
He just said, what a
Check us out on
conversation to
Facebook
walk into.
or YouTube at Lucas Live Media
Go
as well.
crazy all morning.
Shout out to you guys.
So again, what's something new about yourself that you're learning to own with confidence? I'm asking the chat. Olivia posted. She said she is learning that I'm actually really sweet, a sweet, tender, and caring person. Not as hard or mean as I thought I was, and I definitely don't have the I don't care attitude I thought. But I love that about myself. And I want to say about Olivia, I used to coach her.
She's here on our team. She's here in the
She's
building.
here on our team.
She's on the team.
She's over there
Yes.
on the
She's
production
running.
team.
She's running the show. Right
I
now.
used to coach her, and when I was a coach, I felt like my coach really didn't know, what was going on within the team. Like she's just the coach; she don't really know what's going on.
Right.
I don't know if she did really know what was going on because I knew what was going on my team. I knew what was happening. I knew what people were saying about each other. I just knew what was going on. So I always had this like deep love for. I have a deep love for all my girls, but you got some girls that you just really like.
Yeah.
Olivia was one of those girls I really, really loved.
connected
Right.
to.
I connected to her, and there were some girls that just didn't like her, and I was like, "Well, dang, Liv is so sweet." And
Look
so-
at her.
and they would be like, "What she just said." That,
All
and,
right, look at her.
People probably projected that onto her, and so she believed
Right.
that she was that. She believed she was
Telling
mean.
you.
She would believe that she was hard. People said the same things about me. You're stuck up. You're this. You're that.
Right.
So I kind of looked at myself in the mirror like, "Well, daggone, am I stuck up? Because why everybody keeps saying this?"
Mhm.
But the thing is, like, she was never that. She has I don't know, she's always been confident, but when I looked at her as a young girl, she always kept herself together. She was always in my eyes confident. You know, she a well put together girl, super smart, you know, head on straight, very beautiful. Okay? So as a young girl, other young girls, it just wasn't taught that confidence.
Yeah.
You know, how to have, you know, love yourself, self-love. When
Right.
they see a girl like that,
It's weird. It's intimidating.
Yeah.
you kind of, that's where you get, you know, you call them haters. You know,
That's what we
haters.
got. That's what we
You
go
got
back
the,
to.
you know, yeah, you got that envious spirit,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you know, jealousy
Yeah.
comes in, and then you project that onto somebody like Olivia, this sweet girl, and you got to telling her she's mean and she's this and she's that, and she's like, what am I?
Right.
What am
Yeah.
I doing? And now that she's older, she's like, I never was that. Because she's never been that.
Right.
Now, if
Your
somebody
circle was
came
too
at
small.
her and was talking to her, she probably
not fight.
reacted and was like, you know, I'm not, no, you know, she
Right.
probably would react like anybody else would
Right.
react with the, you know, someone coming at them strong like that, especially when they're, you know, she's trying to defend herself when it comes to something that she's not, right?
Sure.
Right.
So now she's older, she's 21.
Mm-hmm.
That's still very young. She's got a lot to learn about herself, and she'll continue to have realizations about herself, and really, you know, just keep learning who she is.
Right.
But a lot of that, you know, is shaped around that time. Like,
Absolutely.
you know, especially when you're on, you know, sports teams, and now you're, you know, you're comparing your bodies to each other, your,
Oh my
your
gosh.
personalities to each other,
Yes.
you know, your grades to each other, you know, your
Yeah.
class. So you in honors class, you in
I
that
know,
class,
right.
you get to go to the gifted program. What's that? So you're so young, you're already having these comparisons about, and they can just be the smallest things, like light up shoes,
Yeah.
light up.
Right.
The smallest of things, we start to
Right.
compare
I remember
ourselves.
them days.
Right.
It starts at home.
You got
though,
some
you know,
British
it
nights?
starts at home. Okay, it starts at
Yes.
home. I think Olivia, you know, hearing her story now as an adult, you know, she had a pretty great childhood.
Shout out to her
Darla
mom,
and her
Darla.
dad.
Yep.
And she speaks highly of that,
She
Miss Darla.
does.
And I think you should know that, because
Yeah.
as a parent, to have a child that says, I don't
Had a
think
great
I had
childhood.
I had a great childhood, and she said, I don't think I had any childhood
Right.
trauma.
And my
Wow.
parents love each other and all this stuff.
Wow.
Well, you're like, where did you
Where
grow up?
you come from?
Right. What are you
Like,
talking
seriously,
about?
a
When
lot
you
of us
talk
had-
about all the things that she was saying, though, that's because her circle was too small.
Uh-huh.
See, like when your circle is too small, they'll make you feel a certain way.
Yeah.
The circle that you're in is too small
Because
for
they've
you.
never seen a you before.
Yeah, right. I mean, they've
Yeah.
never exactly.
Yeah.
She got,
They've
and
never
she's
seen a
gonna
you
realize
before.
that about herself, and not everybody
And instead
got.
of being inspired, it turns into jealousy.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. You want to read that from Tyler? Because he preaching this.
So,
word.
no, okay, well, I was like, I don't know, not no, because I don't want to, because I don't know if I can. I don't want to look stupid.
Come on,
All right, for me, Tyler said, for me personally, I'm learning how much of an impact really I have on everyone I come into contact with. Something nobody knows about me is that a long time I used to be humble to hide the fact that I wasn't confident, and it was in what I was doing. In my mind, I gotta squint a little. Let me look at it
In
on
my
my phone.
mind back then, I was corny. I was corny for being the positive dude that wasn't into drama. I was corny for always being the encourager and uplifter in the room. I'm learning to understand that I have a natural energy about myself, and I cannot, and it cannot, cannot turn off. The light that I hold called me to be.
I am learning that I am to have always been just
Period.
that. Let's go,
Let's talk about
Tyler.
that. That's dimming your light
Yes.
to make somebody else comfortable.
Yes,
We
that's
can't-
exactly what
and
we're
I'm so
talking
glad
about.
that you know that.
What's up,
That ain't
Shahidra,
it.
Russell,
Right?
everybody
You're
who's jumping
corny,
in?
Just ahead of the curve.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
Tyler's always been different too. I know Tyler since he was a kid, but it is tough to be that kind of person. And Tyler, you probably seen me being similar to you. Probably, hopefully, was a good role model because I was always like that too. But you do feel corny, or you feel like. And then the funny part is when you're a young man. Let me talk about it from a young man's perspective. You guys talk about being young women.
Yeah.
When you're a young man like myself, like Tyler was, or and is, you are looked at. You have all the female friends, but you don't have all the girls that are your girls. Like you have your girlfriend or whatever, but you're not like every girl. You'll be in the friend zone because you really are their friend, and you really love them, right? Then you get to an age where they all wake up and realize all them other dudes was jokes, And they be looking at you like, why wasn't I paying you no attention? And you be looking at them like, that was you. That was your fault. So a young man like Tyler,
It was your fault.
that was your problem. For real, they finally wake up and they get done playing with all the guys. When they get done with the boys who are still boys through their 20s and whatever, and they wake up and
30s.
finally want a man, they look at you and they be like, you was a man at
40s.
17. You was a man at 20. You were a man, but I wasn't woman enough to see you as a man. I didn't want a father. I didn't want a big brother. I didn't want that. I wanted a boy to play with and have fun, right? And not that a Tyler isn't fun. Not that I wasn't fun, but it is hard and you feel corny because the rest of the guys are like, nah, we into this. These girls ain't nothing, da-da-da. Talking this talk. And you be looking at them like, I don't feel like I love my mom too much, man. I love my sisters too much. I could not, I love my female friends too much. I just be looking at these dudes like, I cannot rock with that. And yes, that girl is acting like what you said she was, but man, I don't really think that's who she is. And I can't get down with that. But Tyler, I fully understand young women out there who are watching, be careful not to see the dude that's not as on trend.
You preaching it because I tell my son, my oldest, all the time. I've been telling him that for years. He like, and not that he had a problem with it, but I could see it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he is respectful. He's always been respectful. He's never like been, he don't listen to rap music. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but he's just different.
Yes.
You know, especially what someone would call different as a young black man.
Yes.
He's always had like over a 4-point. He's always just been in like, I've never had a problem with him. Never. Wow. If there was ever a problem, I would say, don't do it again. And he's like, okay. Wow. I'm talking about period. I'm like, where did he come from? Because I just told you my story. I was off the hook. But you know, I will always just tell him to do something, and he did it. Went to school, graduated with 2 associate's degrees. When he 2 associate degrees and a high school diploma.
Wow.
And I could see like, yeah, these girls ain't.
They don't see who
he fine.
Yeah.
All right. Talk about
It's fine.
Right.
But they don't want him because and he don't want them. So
okay. All right.
But
Let's go.
because he knows his worth. But I could see these young women. They don't see that.
Yeah.
They think he corny.
Yeah.
Because he ain't out here doing X, Y, and Z and talking this kind of way and sleeping around. He gonna be in charge.
Yes, 100%.
These girls gonna look up and be like, what was I, you know what I mean? What was I thinking? But I told him, and I tell my younger son the same thing. Be corny all day. Be corny all day, because every corny person that I knew is a leader. Yep. They're in charge. Yep. They're a boss. Right. They're a this.
Because corny is a relative term.
It is.
It's saying you're countercultural to the nonsense that's going on right now. Yeah, corny, whatever that means. It's corny to still be struggling at 30, 40, 50 years old. That's corny.
That is
but
corny.
That's where you end up. You was cool back then. Now you corny when it counts.
Listen, he's going to be, and I'm speaking I am speaking this over my kids' life. My kids are going to be past where I'm at my age.
I love that.
And I want them to be because of the decisions I made. And like I look at where he's at now, he's going, me and him were talking the other day. We did a FaceTime for 3 hours because he loves his mom.
Wow.
Yeah.
We hope.
But
someday.
But we were talking and I said, you're gonna be past me.
Right.
Like when you're out of this, where you're at career wise, like when you continue to move, you're gonna be past me. Yeah. Like you, and that's what I want.
I tell my kids that all the time.
Put me in a house.
Right. Put me up. Take care of me. Right. Lock me up.
There's so much good stuff happening in the chat, you guys. Shahidra, shout out to Olivia's parents.
What's up, Rob Johnson? Be unapologetically you.
Said, I'm also learning that my presence means something and my words are powerful. So I'm learning how to speak in the correct way. Earlier, Shahidra had said something about her wisdom. She said, I'm okay with, knowing, I'm okay with having that wisdom and people not understanding where I get it from. And when you are walking that spiritual walk with God, that wisdom kind of like downloads to you. You don't know where it came from, but it's like God putting it into you. So when you get that from God and you know that's why you are the way that you are, you gotta walk with a certain type
one of those
walk.
ones.
And
Yeah.
I know she knows. I know she knows because what she said, using the word wisdom is the perfect word to use, because wisdom is not I don't know
It's
if it's
just
something
not
that
knowledge.
you learn.
The wisdom
I
is
think it's something that
it's
you
like,
Oh my
develop
God.
over time.
yes,
Oh my gosh.
wisdom is like seasoned
Yeah.
knowledge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wisdom is, my dad told me this once. Wisdom is knowing how to use the knowledge you have.
Yes.
People have knowledge, they know stuff, but they don't know how to do anything with
Yeah.
it. Wisdom is, I've been around long enough to
Yes,
figure out how to do
yes,
this thing
yes,
with
yes.
what I know.
And that wisdom that Shahid was talking about too, like I said, it's a weird way to say it, like a spiritual download. It's
It
like
is.
Yeah.
That's
you get a
real.
message
Yeah.
from God, and it's like you become wiser because
Yes.
of what you just found out, because you
Yes.
know it's not public knowledge.
Right,
And
It's
also
right.
what you see.
Ooh, he
Like
said it ain't
wisdom,
public knowledge.
wisdom.
Baby,
God
not,
told
not
me.
everybody.
Right.
God
Everybody didn't get
Yes,
this. He told
yes.
me.
God
He
told
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 me.
me.
I didn't find this.
Yeah.
I didn't Google this. I
Somebody
didn't.
called and told me this. God told me this.
Right.
So it ain't out there for everybody to know.
Ooh.
So that
That's
wisdom
deep.
that you're talking about.
It's also what you see
You learn
though.
that stuff from your
Wisdom is
grandparents,
seeing
right?
stuff
Yeah.
and saying,
Yes.
I ain't doing that.
Yes.
That's wisdom.
That's wisdom.
Yeah.
Wisdom is
I ain't
when
falling
you,
for it.
and that's what I tell. I'm talking about my son again. He's been like that all
Yeah.
his life.
Yeah.
He saw them. He's
Yeah.
like, I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
And what was crazy is that he was one of the kids that was hanging out with all the cool kids.
Wow.
Like
Like he was
He
cool.
was confident.
I know
That's what
Right.
I'm telling you.
like that, though.
He was
Like,
confident in
yes.
himself, but he was friends with
I ain't
all
gotta
the
do all
kids
that.
that was
Right.
cool and did all this stuff. But he just never got into the
gotta do all
trouble.
that.
He didn't make those choices. He wasn't gonna be a part of it. But he was cool with everybody. You know what I mean? But he was like, I ain't doing all
Doing
that.
all that.
But he would watch it. Even seeing me and his dad,
Mm-hmm.
I ain't doing what y'all do. And I'm like, good.
Good, great.
This is what I want you to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Looking at situations, I ain't doing. It would be little stuff. Like we would do. Like one time I did this. What is it where they do the hot chick, like where they put the different sauces?
Yeah, like the
on
spice challenge or
and
something
so
like
we
that,
did
the
it
hot
at
sauce
home.
challenge.
I was like, we gonna do this. We gonna do this. And he saw me. He
Yeah.
was like, I ain't doing.
I ain't doing it. He don't care. He ain't even messing around. He
He
like,
don't care how fun it looks.
I don't have to mess around.
I ain't
Mama
doing
ain't
that.
doing that. So
Right.
he does it with the little things, but he also, as a young man, he's done it with the big things.
Yeah.
Like I can be cool with y'all, but I'm seeing where that's taking you, and so now I ain't doing that. So
Right.
if that means we're separating in adulthood, then that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're separating.
love that. Love
Listen,
that.
I love my
that.
baby. Shout out to my
Asia
little
Shout out
child.
to him.
said
Shout out to
something
her.
in the chat, and I just know her. Okay, so I'm like, yeah. Asia, she said this was me in high school, knowing my worth. I was 16 and not going for it. She's like, and it hurt my feelings at first, but as I got older, it made sense. Now, oh no, Shanti. Oh, now Shanti's got a man at home, and he's so good. To
Oh, uh-oh.
Asia has always been like
Shantae's got a man. That's- remember that
She's
song?
always been one of them girls that just wasn't going for it, and she always, there was those girls that just seemed more wise, and like when it came to like the boys, it was like I ain't messing, I ain't boy, goodbye, and some girls was like really down for the attention and like all the so Asia definitely moved different when we was school. She was never like the one for all the attention. She was
Yeah.
never the one that wanted to be in the spotlight, but she was always that girl, right? She was always the way she is now. She's always been like that. She's always been loud. She's always been extra, but the good loud, the good
Right,
extra,
the good loud
like,
extra.
Like she's always had this big personality, how she has it, and Tamar Braxton is like her favorite person.
Oh, that
She's
is right.
always been like a little Tamar.
Oh,
Tamar.
really?
Yes.
Oh, I love Asia way more than Tamar.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There you go. All right, you guys. We're gonna get back into this conversation. I love where it's going.
I'm also shooting live on.
This
This is kind of how we doing Footage Fusion. Footage Fusion is about using your cell phone to get quality content. If
There
you
you
guys
go.
have not checked out Footage Fusion, check us out at footagefusion.com. We got some new individual influencer packages on footagefusion.com for people who want to put out content. You may be a business owner. You may just be an individual like, I want to do some content because I have some makeup tutorials, or I want to be a speaker or a coach or a trainer or something, and I want to put myself out there. I just don't know how to edit videos and put something out there that's quality. We got you at footagefusion.com. We now have cheaper packages for people who want to upload their own information, fill out the form, and we will crank out 4 reels a week for you for a very affordable price. Or if you need content coaching plus editing, we got you there. Or if you need content coaching plus editing plus social media management, we got you there as well. So check us out at footagefusion.com. We teach you how to take something as simple as your cell phone or these smart glasses I have on right now and capture content all day, every day, doing the simple things that you do in your life, in your business, or as an influencer. So check us out at footagefusion.com.
Yes. All right. So the topic today is all about confidence and stepping into it, and not being you and not caring who thinks anything about it. And I'm gonna tell you guys a story about how I did that and what happened to me, and what was birthed out of that realization and having that thought. But stay tuned for that because we're getting ready to get into Mentor Stark mashup. And listen, this ties into everything that we're doing. We're going to show you some events coming up, but think about the organization. This is a mentoring organization, and they go out and they mentor kids. Now, think about confidence. Think about what we needed as kids, okay? We needed somebody to pour into us. We needed somebody to remind us of our worth and tell us who we are because we didn't know. I know when I was younger, I needed somebody to step in and say, Danny, you are all that in a bag of chips, okay? I needed to know that, all right? I needed somebody to show me something different, that I could go to college, that I could, I could be a teacher, or I could be whatever I wanted to be. If I wanted to be, I needed somebody to take me and go to some schools and talk to some teachers. Mentor Stark is doing that. Okay.
Yes.
Get your kids involved. Get your kids a mentor. Get yourself a mentor.
Yes.
Okay. We need somebody to hold us accountable. And as kids, we need somebody in our web of support. We need somebody, a trusted adult, someone maybe in the career field that we're, aspiring to be in. Mentor Stark is the first stop you should take when it comes to looking for a mentor for your kids, looking to become a mentor for the kids, or just looking to pour in and sow into a seed that we have right here in Stark County. So check out this Mentor Stark moment. We'll be right back.
Hey everyone, welcome to this week's Mentor Stark mashup. First up, Mentor Stark is thrilled to highlight the incredible work happening through our partnerships. Walking with a Purpose recently visited Lighthouse Ministries after school program. These two organizations have come together to provide mentorship, support, and guidance to the youth in our community. We're also celebrating a powerful partnership between Gigi's Playhouse and First Tee Canton. This collaboration is creating inclusive opportunities for individuals with Down syndrome to develop confidence, social skills, and a love for the game of golf. And speaking of impact, let's give a huge shout out to Beyond the Game, who just celebrated 9 years of service yesterday. Over the past 9 years, Beyond the Game has donated over $200,000 in supplies to families in need, impacted 11 different states, and reached over 6,200 students through 2 of their programs. Stay tuned for a couple of upcoming events, and we will see you back here next week.
But I don't know. It's a lot more people. I don't know if my thing is counting right.
Back.
We're back. All right. Hey, we're back. Hey,
We're back.
we're talking to TikTok.
We are talking to TikTok. Yes, yes. So I'm enjoying the conversations we're having with you guys. I hope you guys can screenshot or any of the events happening. If you've seen something going on you want to be a part of, go over to mentorstark.org. And that's where you can find all of those things you just seen in the Mentor Stark mashup. Sign up for events, register, RSVP, whatever. Put it on your calendar. Do what you got to do. But get out into the community. And just be a part of what we got going on, and instill some confidence into our youth because they may need it too. Social media and the things that they're going through is so different than what we got to go through. So just encouraging our youth, right? So get out there, be a part of it. Shout out to everybody that is involved with the younger generation. Of that.
Love it.
But back to our conversation.
Yes.
Our conversation, Lucas. I don't know if you actually answered the question.
I don't think I did. I've been kind of hanging out in the background.
You've been hanging out in the background.
Give me the question one more time. Give me the
So
question.
the question that we just left off on was, what's something about yourself that you're learning to really own?
Okay.
And I know for you, this is a great question.
Yes.
Because, like you said, no more Mr. Nice Guy.
No more Mr. Nice Guy.
I know personally I've seen a shift in, your behavior, right? But It's a good shift because a lot of the time, like you said, you played nice.
Yeah.
And, being nice is great, except
Mm-hmm.
when now you can't say no.
Right.
Now it's hard for you to say no. Or now,
People
you're
are
in a
taking advantage of
people
you.
take
Sure.
advantage of you. You're in
Man in my face.
situations.
Too smart to be stupid.
Yeah, you're in situations that you didn't want to be in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
is there something that you're stepping into now that you haven't quite done before? And how are you learning to like own that with confidence and
Yeah.
being secure with, just the new version of Lucas?
Thank you for asking that. I looked up the definition of confidence because I think about this a lot, and I've looked this up before. So this is dictionary.com, I believe. If you look it up, if you just Google confidence, and I'm going to give the
I know
last.
that you read the dictionary every day.
I wake up and I read the dictionary every morning. I'm like, starting with A, I got to get through this thing every month. I get through the whole thing. Confidence. I'm going to give you a definition that people know. Or probably think about, maybe you don't know, but it is a state of feeling certain about the truth of something. So confidence, I feel certain about it. Or a feeling of self-assurance arising from one's appreciation of one's own abilities or qualities. That's something else we know. I'm confident in myself because I have self-assurance about my own abilities or qualities. I know I can do something. But the top definition, I think, is the best definition because it says it's the feeling or belief that one can rely on someone or something. It's firm trust. I think sometimes we lack confidence because we don't trust ourselves because we've let ourselves down so many times. And I think I've let myself down because I've so often played small in the movie. I played an extra in the movie of my own life. I've let other people play the main role in my freaking life. And when I woke up and realized that everybody happens to be living out a movie of their own life and everybody else are just characters in their life, I was like, I have to stop playing an extra because I get to play out one of these things and you get to play out yours and you get to play out yours and you get to be the star of yours and you get to be the star of yours. And if we so choose to bring our movies together in some way on a Friday morning to sit here and do this or other times throughout life, then so be it. But if we don't, I got to still shine and be the star of my own show. But so often in life, I'd be sitting around like I was less than, like I wasn't good enough or I wasn't a good enough actor. But in my mind, I knew who I was. I was like, no, I am, but I'm just going to play humble. And a lot of it was, unfortunately, I don't want to say necessarily spiritual abuse. It was spiritual misleading. It was the belief that Jesus was truly so meek and mild that he never turned over a table, or that religiously you're supposed to be such a pushover that that's godly. Like that is not godly. God is God. God flooded the whole freaking earth and flooded everybody on there, his kids and everybody. He was like, all y'all gonna die because y'all hard-headed. I ain't never flooded my kids. They done acted up. I ain't even talking about. Catch me outside. If you don't get on this boat, you toast. Like he don't play, right?
Yes.
So if I'm going to be like my father, who is a God, who is powerful, who makes powerful decisions and does what he needs to do because he runs this thing and he has the sovereign right to make choices in his life, then I have the sovereign right to make choices in my life. And people can like it or not. You don't have to like what God is doing for God to be God. You don't have to worship God for God to be God. You don't have to agree with God to be God. It is not a democracy. It is not some choice. It is not up to some vote. It is God's choice to do what God does. So what God told me was, Lucas, you are in charge of you. And as long as you connect with me, I'm going to lead you down the path of righteousness. I'm going to lead you down good paths. So if you listen to me, and he said too, Lucas, you can also go up down a path that I didn't give you. And if you, and maybe I'll come help you when you go wrong,
So
or
can I ask you a
I'll let you
question?
go far astray. If you want to, you can do what you want to do. But he gave us free will. And he said, Lucas, you're the star of the show. And I'm tired of seeing my kids out here playing. So what parent wants to see the kid? When your kids is on the court, your kids is doing the thing.
Yeah.
I'm yelling at my son, like, take them shots.
Yes.
Do that stuff. I'm yelling at my daughters. I'm yelling at my kid. My daughter running track event. I'm like, beat them
That's
kids.
true.
There other kids' parents sitting right behind me. I don't care. I be like, kill them kids. And they parents be looking, I be looking at them like, well, tell your kid to
Not
kill my kid
kill
too.
the kids.
But that's what I be telling them. No, but I be like, I want my kids to win. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not going to hold back and tell my daughter, play nice out there on the track so that this person's not mad at me for telling you to do good. No, you work too hard.
Yeah.
My daughter been running track since she was 8 years old. She been working too hard her whole life.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm sorry.
Can I ask you a question?
go ahead.
Look, I'm sorry. Look, I'm scared.
Ask me another
kid.
question.
Kill the kid.
Kill kids. No, we don't kill kids. I love kids. I'm just
I know what
saying,
you're
the
saying.
point
I
is,
know what you're
we
saying.
tell our kids to be great. And if you think God's not telling you, go be great, go be bold, go do the thing.
Right.
And if you think God is saying, people took the word and they were trying to control people. So they said, that scripture said, be meek and mild and scared so that I can control you. It says, so I can whoop on you so that I can they were tricking you. They didn't read, they read the powerful side and they said, I'm the powerful Lord. And they said, you're the peasant in this story. And people took that part and they were like, oh, you're the God, the Lord, and the King, and I'm the peasant. I'm the lowly one. Yeah, be like that one. And be all those weaker attributes you read about Jesus. Don't be the powerful part. I'll take on that role. Forget that. I'm being powerful in my life. So, yes.
I'm laughing at Asia.
You got a question?
I can hear her right now. She said, not unalive kids.
We're not unaliving kids. It's going to shut off our broadcast. All right. All right. Sorry. All right.
I have a question because you read the definition of confidence and it said you said the last definition.
This top one right here.
You have to have trust in something, so you have to trust yourself.
Yes.
So I have a personal question for you.
Yes.
Are we trusting ourselves or are we trusting God in us? Are we trusting God? Because my confidence.
Great.
This is me personally.
Yes, great question.
I struggle with confidence, and this is what I was sharing with Danny earlier. I struggle with confidence the majority of my life. I'm talking about as a mother, as a woman.
Wow.
Struggle with confidence. I had to find confidence in God. I had to trust His process.
Right.
And even today, when I step out or even being here sitting with you guys, you know me. I'll go and be like, no, I said this, I said that.
I know, you be texting me like,
such a thing did I say? And that's part of the confidence part. Like, I have to come up out of it, like just be confident about what you're saying. But I have to trust God. And so I say, okay, Lord, you put me here, I'm just going to do it. And that's where I'm at. Like that's, because it's not like, oh, I know I can do it. Lord, I know you put me here and
so
I
that's
can
a
do
good
it.
question. So I want to answer that question. So here's what I believe. I believe me and the Father are one.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that what Jesus did not come and say, worship me. He never said worship me. He never once said worship me. He did not say, just read about me for 2,000 years. He said, do what I did, walk like I walked, talk how I talked, and you're going to do greater things than I did. Because you have a roadmap that's greater than what I had. Because I just showed you how to play the game. Like somebody now can model, LeBron could model Jordan. Somebody can now model LeBron. We can model Jesus, or whoever you believe in, whatever.
Right,
But
right.
I'm just saying, so for me, when I know that God is in me, if I really believe God is in me, fully in me, then I have confidence that I can do all things. You can walk on water because you have confidence that what's in you is so it can override the laws of nature.
Right.
So that's why I think I can do anything. Is it all me believing it's me alone as a human being? Absolutely not. In a human form, I am so vulnerable to every little thing that could blow me over, make me sad, mad, scared, hurt, dead, sick, sad, everything else. But knowing the power of that's in me. So we're on the same page.
So we're on the same page.
It is the power of God. But with that power, I don't talk about it as though me and God are separate. Like maybe God will answer me this morning and maybe do it. I told my daughter yesterday, I said, wherever you are in the world, no, I'm coming to find you. I said, my parents always told me this. And I went to my dad's house and I told my dad.
Told you that story.
My dad, wherever you are in the world, I'm coming to find you. My dad, I helped him with something and he was, helping me out with something yesterday. And I said, Dad, I know you don't even like to drive at night because it's dark at night and you get older. I said, but Dad, I really believe if something happened to me and it's dark at night, you coming to get me. He said, of course. And I said, and he said, I know you got me like that. I said, of course. And then when I got in the car, my daughter's in the car, I said, Savannah, I want you to know I just had this conversation with my dad and I want you to know I'm always with you. You can walk through life as though you are protected because I'm with you wherever you go. Because if you're somewhere and I'm not there, I'm coming. But God, for real, is really with us.
Yeah.
So I can do all things.
You talked about that with your mom.
Mm-hmm.
She said, I see you.
Yes. Yes.
I see you. And I was telling you that story with my son.
Yep.
How I found him.
Yeah. In the crowd when he was,
He was in the army. Everybody's dressed the same. I didn't know where he was at. There's 1,000 men out there.
Yeah.
And all they did was take one step forward. And I said, bam, there he is. And I found him. Yeah. And that's how we are. But you're right.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it.
I love how you broke that down. Because even for our listeners.
It gives us confidence. Yeah. I can confide in myself. When you trust somebody, I can confide in them. I can tell them things and believe they're going to help me. We don't trust ourselves because when we tell ourselves our stuff, we give ourselves bad advice. We don't do what we say we're going to do. Yeah. And so we lose trust in ourselves. So we don't have confidence because of that. Yes. Danny, you put on a show today. We're not done, but you put together a show. We're going to have to call this the Danny Show. That's what we're going to call. We're going to change the name. This is the show. I mean, I'm happy to be here.
Yes,
This is
I'm just
quality.
glad
You put it
it's as
together.
good as it is, and I'm glad that the people are engaging as much as they are and relating and having something to say, because that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And I told y'all before we went into the Mentor Stark mashup that I had a story that I wanted to tell y'all, just even about all of this and how it all ties together, and then where I come into play at.
Yeah.
And so I'm talking about my business, right? So I have the True Body Company. I mean, that wasn't the original name. The original name was the Rare Body Company. I had all these. Now I'm a new business owner, so I went and I got all these cute little bags, like Rare Body Co. I was doing vendor shows, pop-up shops, all this stuff. So I had the Rare Body Co. All of my labels. At the time, I was buying the labels. They were already coming made. Now I make them and print them and just put them on myself. But before I was getting them, so I had all these labels with Rare Body Company on them. And there was a Instagram page that I wanted, and it said the Rare Body Company. So I messaged it and I said, "Hey, can I have the name?" So a friend told me, Uncle B told me to do it. So I did that. Next thing I knew, I got a cease and desist. I got a cease and desist because that name was taken, and then they didn't want me to have it. They had a trademark, so there was nothing I could do. So I changed my name to the True Body Company, and I wasn't super happy, but I was like, well, whatever it is, I always have had faith. So I just was like, I like the name the True Body Company. It still gives me that feel of what I wanted with the Rare Body Company. So the True Body Company. Now that's I'm telling that story for a reason. I wanted my name to be the Rare Body Company, but God didn't want that for me because my name is supposed to be the True Body Company. Because what would be birthed later is the Stay True collection by the True Body Company.
Wow.
And what the Stay True collection is on my journey. And Lucas, you were a part of it, and I told you this, and I told Nate this when he was here too. On my journey of starting the True Body Company, I was making soap. If y'all didn't know, making soap and body creams and shower scrubs. And I was making, I was taking some good pictures of them, making nice videos, pumping out the soap, doing all kinds of cool stuff, making making it, showing y'all the process. But Lucas wasn't satisfied.
Her big brother.
He said
we weren't even working together. We was
just
just
friends.
always
We were
talking,
just
stayed in touch.
And he told me that I needed to be the face of my brand because that would be powerful. And I didn't want to get on the camera. You know why? Because of this conversation.
What?
I didn't want to step out and I guess be this content creator because I wasn't that. Well, how do you become something? You start doing it.
You start doing it.
You start doing it, right? I wasn't a content creator. So why would I get online and start acting like I'm a content creator? Because how do content creators get online and start becoming content? First of all, this ain't been going on forever. Social media ain't been here forever, so we had to start it.
Right.
So I wasn't confident. I didn't want to get on there and do it. I thought that it would be corny. I would say corny things, and then I just, I don't know. I had all these thoughts, so I was like, forget it. I'm gonna have to do it. So I got in front of the camera and I started doing it, and then just my spiritual journey, things started happening, and I started to have these realizations of things, and I walked into Lucas's house and his daughter Savannah had a hoodie on and it said, "Be you, they'll adjust." And I stole it. I don't care. I'll tell y'all, I stole it. I stole it. I stole that. I stole that saying.
Right.
Because when I seen that, it made me realize that I could be whoever and whatever I wanted to be, and the rest of the world will have to deal with it. You're gonna have to adjust.
Right. That's right.
Because I'm gonna be me no matter what.
That's right.
So if you don't like it, move around.
Right.
Do something.
Yeah.
That's
Find
it.
somebody else to follow or like or be friends with or consider whatever it is. If you don't like how I'm showing up or how I'm talking or what I do and how I do it, you don't have to be here.
Right.
Right.
You
So
could-
that statement was so powerful to me.
Absolutely.
So I wanted to create a brand like like merchandise, right? I really got into drop shipping. That's the real. I wanted to do drop shipping. I wanted to just, create stuff to sell, not have to touch.
Right.
But something happened within that. The Stay True collection was born. And the Stay True collection is a brand that reminds us to be who we are, no matter what the societal view of that may be.
Love that.
So it doesn't matter what the rest of the world thinks. The only thing that matters is what you think.
Yes.
And so I put that on shirts. Stay true to who you are. Be you, they'll adjust. That's on shirts. That's on hoodies. That's on cell phone cases. That's on laptop cases. That's on hats. That's on whatever you want.
Yes.
It's on there to remind you of who you are.
Yes.
Because staying true to yourself is the only way.
That's the only way
It's the only way
Yes.
because there's
Yep.
so many people that are going to have something to say.
Yes.
And if you allow what those people have to say, determine your walk, determine your ID, what you're
Your
going to
value, your worth,
your worth. If you
Come on.
allow those people to determine anything that you got going on, they have power.
They do.
Yeah.
They have the power. I was watching a podcast. He's like this Indian guy, and he just has all these like wise things to say. His name is Sadhguru, and
He sounds so wise.
No,
Yes,
Sadhguru. Sadhguru. You
Yes,
can't go wrong.
Yes,
Sadhguru.
Yeah.
That's it.
and
Gotta be wise.
That's why you up here with all
Hey,
I know,
I
it's-
love
what
him
the
because
Sadhguru?
there was a time that I struggled with, like I said, that reciprocation of energy.
Yes.
There was a time where I struggled in my workplace of being around negative people and being negative.
Yeah.
You know, or my leadership wasn't the best because
Yeah.
they were so negative. So I was negative.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get out of that. And
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know how to, because when they come at me like this, I want to come back at them like that.
Right.
And then Sadhguru
Sadhguru said.
he said that when you allow people to do that to you, you give them power and
Yes.
control over you. And when I heard that, I said, ain't nobody got power and control over me but me. So you can have your bad day. You can say your negative things. I'ma still say good morning and smile away, because why would I let your attitude and your outlook, your perspective dictate my mood and how I see things and how I perceive things and how I'm going to react? You
Right.
don't get that power.
Right.
I have that power, and I'm not giving nobody else the power to control me, because you can't.
Right.
I think this for me, this brings up another conversation though about forgiveness. Even forgiveness.
Yeah.
Like because I will just like forgive people. I'll forgive certain things if they come to me, and even if they don't.
Yep.
So when you talk about that power, there are people that have done me completely wrong. You know who you are.
You know who
Yeah,
you
you know
are.
who you are.
You
I'm
know-
gonna say
you
your
know what
name
you did.
today
You know
on
what
the
you're
show.
talking about.
You know what you did.
No, but in all seriousness, I hug them when I see them. Sometimes they don't even know that I know. I hug, I wave, I say hi. It just allows me to just feel better in my space.
Yeah.
Because if I walk in and I see them and I, you know what I'm saying, get into pit bull mode, you know,
Yeah.
that mode, it's just like it changes it. If I'm at an event and then I see somebody or I see something and it just it changes and it takes away
Yeah.
from where you are. So whether it be in the workplace, whatever it is, it's like you have the power. Don't allow them to take power. You know what I mean, from you. But I think forgiveness is a huge component to that.
Yes.
And just letting things go. And I think sometimes we think it's soft. You know, we're soft because we let things go.
Yep.
But you're not. You're tougher.
But you know what?
Because
though?
gotta
you're
be strong
bigger.
enough
You
to
gotta
do
be
it.
strong enough to do it.
Even saying that though, like, you think you're soft. I don't. You know what? I'm not considering being soft a
Negative
insult
thing.
anymore.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
I'm
deep.
not considering
Yeah.
it being an insult
Me
anymore.
either.
I
Come
spent a
on.
lot
Come
of
on,
time
ladies.
having
Yeah.
to be tough.
Come on,
I
ladies.
spent a lot of time being tough, acting tough, showing up tough.
Woo,
I don't
we gotta talk about
care.
this next week.
I want to be in my softness. I want to just. I don't want to have.
That's
not-
why. Oh,
It's gonna
my
be
gosh.
moments and
This
times
is
I gotta
another
show
day.
up and let y'all know, right?
Yeah.
But I don't want to do that. And you know what? With my man and my family,
Mm.
you know, I got 2 boys and a good man. Okay,
All right.
I don't want to be soft because I don't want to be hard. I'm gonna let them do it for me.
All right.
So I
Yeah.
can be just. So now I'm not. You know, I know
Soft
I got
era.
it in me. You know, I got
You
it
got
in
it
me.
in you.
I tell people
But-
that all the
Yeah,
time.
soft
I'm
girl,
not
and
good.
soft
I'm
girl
not
era
good.
doesn't have to be an era.
Yeah.
It should be the era should be the beginning of a lifestyle of being able to be soft, that you feel protected, that you don't have to fight. All my life I had to
to
fight.
fight.
Well, when is the fight gonna end?
Yeah.
When can you just be soft?
fight
and
is not
feel
yours.
safe? Exactly. So why do you got to be fighting your
That's
whole
that
life?
confidence
Right.
part again. We got to
Yep.
be confident enough, especially as minorities. Let's be
Yeah.
clear.
Yes,
We're gonna have a
yes.
real conversation.
Let's
have
talk
a real
about it, 'cause it's
conversation.
getting real. It's
No,
getting
I'm just
sticky.
saying, as minorities, we feel as Black folks, minorities, we feel like we gotta be tough.
Yes.
And honestly, that's a lie.
Yeah.
We do not. We can be soft. We can be loving. We can be
Yes.
forgiving. It doesn't make us look less than.
Yes.
We have to put our confidence in God that He's going to fight that battle for us.
Yes.
Whatever that battle looks like.
Right.
You know what I mean? I tell my staff, I tell my kids, I'm a punk all day.
Okay.
I'll be a punk all day.
Yep.
Because I own this. I
Yep.
own this.
Yep.
I have y'all. I
Yep.
ain't losing none of
I got
that.
nothing to lose.
Yeah, I'm not losing any of
I
that.
gotta prove nothing
For
to
my ego,
nobody.
right? I'm not for my ego or for my
Literally.
pride or to show
Listen.
somebody that how tough I am. What's
Right.
tough gonna do?
Right. What bills is tough paying? What bills is tough paying?
Lucas
too
Live
much.
News real
Right.
quick. Let
Keep
me
it real.
just
Keep it real, Daddy.
on
Keep
Lucas
it real,
Live
Daddy.
News. If y'all think for a second that I don't see the Facebook posts and the little things that people are saying, I don't care. If y'all
Tell 'em,
think that
Daddy.
I'm gonna spend a single second giving somebody else that energy or clearing some things up or clearing my name or getting online and making a post and saying, hey, I'm not. Have at it. It's not an it.
Let them know.
You know where I'm at in my life. I
Woo!
don't need.
What makes you think
I don't
that
got
your
no
opinion of me?
good chance
Let's
that
go.
Lucas Live
Let's
Media
go.
There's no way
You
I'm
built a
gonna
platform so I
share
could.
this share.
Let's
I'm
go,
gonna
right?
share. And if
Turn
there's
turn my
somebody
life around.
got to say about me that
Let's
is
go.
negative, I don't care. I
Let's
don't
go.
care for anybody to come and say, do you know what she said? Tell her to say it again. Tell her to say it louder. And whoever believes it, tell them to go have coffee together.
Right.
I don't care.
Ooh.
Do y'all
Hello.
thing. And yeah.
Let's
So, I'm
go.
gonna leave y'all with this, all right?
Yes.
We have a brand new segment with Stark County Minority Business Association.
Yes.
And we are so thankful and happy and excited to be partnering with them. So much has come from this partnership.
Yes.
We got a building, an office space
Yes.
downtown Canton
Woo.
looking over Centennial Plaza.
Yes.
And it is beautiful. We will be moving in there real soon. So
Yes.
in the summertime, be looking for us.
Yep.
We have a
Looking.
little balcony out
Yeah,
there.
we'll be out there.
But we want to introduce you guys to a new segment called Inside SCMBA Business and Beyond. This is Ashley Gantz, and she's going to tell us a little bit about what SCMBA is and how you can become a part of it. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Ashley Gantz with the Stark County Minority Business Association, or SCMBA. We're dedicated to supporting minority, women, and veteran-owned businesses with resources, networking, and hands-on assistance. At SCMBA, we offer more than just advice. Through our Minority Business Assistance Center, we provide free services to help get you started, from financial counseling to business plans, certification assistance, and more. Whether you're starting out or expanding, we're here to help. When you're ready to take your business to the next level, SCMBA membership gives you access to exclusive networking events, one-on-one counseling, workshops, and combined grants and mentorship programs. These tools are designed to support your growth and success. Plus, we offer vendor opportunities to help you showcase your business to a wider audience. Join us at our membership kickoff and vendor expo on Thursday, March 27th. Connect with entrepreneurs, explore growth opportunities, and discover how SCMBA can help your business thrive. Register now at starkminoritybusiness.org/events. We can't wait to see you there.
Awesome. So there is a SCMBA vendor show coming up. So if you guys want to be a part of that, make sure you reach out to Ashley or at least Watkins. She's in the chat too. Or even head over to the page, the Stark County Minority Business Association, and get some information on that. But what you guys can look forward to is some elevator pitches from some of the members from SCMBA.
Yes.
So be looking for that. Those are local minority businesses. Some of them turned around like it was gonna be right there, just a whole green wall.
I was like, what does she mean? You still
Wait,
can still there.
wait,
They don't know.
Danny, it is there.
They
What are you
don't
talking
know.
about?
Look,
They don't know.
freaked me out for a second. I was like,
Right. It is.
Yeah.
Danny, what are you talking about?
Daddy,
It's
they
right
don't know what
there.
you're saying.
okay, so I'm sorry. Canton Jones Cars and Legacy Dumpster are two businesses that are
Yes.
part of SCMBA. So companies like that and other local small businesses.
Lily's
Lily's Pad also
Lily's
is a
Pad.
part of
I'm sorry,
SCMBA.
Lily's
It's
Pad
okay.
too.
It's all right.
So they came into the studio. There were some members that did their elevator pitches. And just they're just gonna educate you guys on what services they offer, what kind of businesses that they have, and then you guys can have that on top of your head. If you need a dumpster, if you need childcare, if you need whatever these businesses are offering, where you can go, and we'll be the hub for that, and educate you guys each week on the local minority businesses right here in Stark County.
Yeah. And shout out to our great
Yes.
sponsors that you guys see behind
Yeah,
us.
shout out to all of our sponsors.
Now Stark County Minority Business Association is also a sponsor of Lucas Live News.
I love that they're putting their in front. Like I'm looking at them,
Yeah.
Stark Minority Business, and I'm like, they're really putting more information out.
Yes.
And because sometimes I think people don't understand not just their organization, but organizations similar to that.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes as a business, you're like, well, what's the chambers of commerce? Why should I be
Yeah.
a part of this? Why should I be a part of Stark Minority Business Association? Like, what does that do? Is it just an association? Do I just attach my name to it? But I'm obviously I'm a member, so I get a lot of emails, and part of my one of the things I'm going to do this year is just probably be more like attentive to some of those things, because when I read through the emails, there's grant opportunities, funding opportunities, and not just for those financial gains, but also they have these workshops that will allow you to just gain knowledge in leadership, period. And sometimes, like, here's the thing, I have a master's in leadership, right? So even though I have a master's in leadership, I didn't graduate knowing how to be a leader. Let's be clear. So a lot of times we go to school for things and we have these titles, but it's on paper. I'm taking a test. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just taking this test and it says that I'm a great accountant. No, you're a great accountant when you make sure that them taxes is right. You know what I mean? So I didn't graduate and just become a leader. These workshops help you funnel through those leadership opportunities or skills. HR, I mean, there's all kinds of different things. I know that you guys have done some footage fusion, like just education around like
They have
social
mentoring
media,
programs.
mentor,
Nate Chester's here because I'm his mentor in a program they have there. And I just did a training there on business presentations, business pitches.
So it's things like that. So even though, you know, I own a business, Danny owns a business, Lucas owns a business, who says that there aren't areas to critique or there aren't areas where you can grow? And so really just taking advantage of these opportunities in these community organizations that really want to help.
Yes.
There's my spiel.
Yes.
Shout out to our friends at SCMBA.
Yes.
And shout out to Jessica Danielle Nails, also
Jessica
longtime
Danielle.
sponsor of ours. I always want to shout out Jessica Danielle Nails. If you're looking for a place to get your nails done, your nails did, it's springtime. You know, ladies, I don't know if y'all get them toes together. Don't come out.
No, let's talk about the toes.
Don't come out, y'all with your winter toes.
Because y'all been underneath them gym shoes.
All right, tell them in them boots.
Freshen
them up. Go see Jessica Danielle at the nail bar. Tell them.
Painted,
All of that.
If you don't want to go get your nails done, you want to learn how to do nails.
There you go.
She teach you how to do it. She's on top.
How to do nails.
And she got stuff you can buy. You can buy it.
She got,
Oh, wow.
She got the polishes, all her own branded stuff. Yes.
So she will help you learn how to do and provide you with the products.
She does it all. She's
That's so
amazing.
awesome. I love when
She got a
people
website,
just
guys. So check out jessicanails.com.
awesome.
Check out her website. You can buy, you know, polishes, your acrylic brushes.
Yes.
She has all kinds of things on there. Anything you need to start up. Even if you already know what you're doing, you already have, you know, your license or whatever. If you need some new products, check hers out and see, you know, see how they work for your clients and see, you know, and let her know if it does work, right? All right, so guys, we're gonna leave you with this. We're gonna leave you with this question. We're all gonna answer it. I want you guys to answer it in the chat. Think about it later. What's one thing you can do today to step into the next level, maybe without guilt? Okay, I don't want to. Guilt is we're gonna use that word, but what's one thing you could do to step into what all we talked about, right? Step into the next level in your purpose. You know, we're news hosts, so what's one thing that we can do better? Whatever, without the fear of someone judging you, without shrinking yourself down to feel like you're not too much or too at whatever your thoughts are. What is one thing that you could do today? And my thing is, I love taking baby steps because we're not going to put the pressure on everybody. We're trying to change and we can't change. Rome wasn't built in a day. Okay, some of these things that we're talking about, you're not just going to get off of the show and just go be this better whatever person. You're not going to be this super confident person. It's going to take some time. You're gonna have to condition your brain to think a new way, unlearn some things, and relearn some things, so that you can let go of some of those old habits, the old ways of thinking. And I'm gonna tell y'all this before we go too. The biggest enemy that you'll have is in your head. Okay, the biggest enemy you'll have is in your head, because your thoughts will make you want to think a certain way, do something that you always have done. because you're used to it. That's what that conditioned mindset, that conditioned mentality is. So we're going to unlearn all of that to relearn the new ways of thinking. And I'm telling y'all, it's going to be hard because sometimes we can't control our thoughts, all right? They just pop in. But what you can do is redirect them. And that's what I do.
Love that.
When it pops in my head, something negative pops in my head, something that I don't really want to think about pops in my head, I tell myself, I
Retrain
ain't
the
think
brain.
about that.
Yes.
I don't want to think like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to, because that's where it starts. That's where the manifestation starts,
Yes.
is in your thinking. Once you think it, you begin to act on it and it becomes your reality. So when you think of that, think of what you want to do, the way you want to be, because that will start to become your reality. So with that being said, Lily, what's one thing you can do today to step into the next level without that guilt?
Well, I don't want to speak on exactly what, but I will say what you said when you shared your story earlier about Lucas telling you you got to be the face. That encouraged me, because even though I'm up here with you guys, I'm with you guys. I need to be more confident in being by myself. And so I'll leave it at that.
Love
Like
that.
just being
Just being Lily.
just being
Lily.
Lily in front of a camera. Heck,
There you go. There you go. There you go.
just being
love
Lily in front of a camera and just being like confident in me.
Yeah.
So sometimes I feed off of other people's energy, and it makes me feel a little bit more confident sometimes, most of the time. But just saying, you know what? I have the ability, and it's in my spirit, I have the ability to do some things alone. And so, yeah, you might hear about me stepping out and doing some
All
stuff.
right.
All
She got a
right,
meeting with
let's
Footage
go.
Fusion here soon, so
Got a footage
we may see her sooner than later.
Oh,
Yeah.
See what
Lucas,
happens.
what's
See
one
what
thing that
happens.
you're thinking about doing today, or within this month, this week, that you're gonna step into without a feeling of guilt or judgment or any of those things?
I think boldness around the business we're building.
Okay.
I think about our goals. Like I said, I wanted to make 100 sales this week. And I was like, man, I want to post that. And I thought a lot of people wouldn't post that. That sounds crazy. Or our financial goal. I was like, a lot of people wouldn't post that. That sounds crazy. But I want to be bold about it, because even if we don't hit it, I want people to see the journey. We are people trying to build something. And a lot of times we don't see things until it's already built.
Yeah.
And then we're like, oh, they made it overnight. No, they didn't.
Right.
And so I want to be bold enough to be vulnerable enough to show the process and say, we were here, now we're here, then we're there. Tyler Perry was doing plays on a stage that nobody was watching. And people don't remember that. Now he's a billionaire with can do a play and it would fill up any stadium. I mean, he can fill up anything he wants, sells out theaters, has deals with all these movie companies, Netflix and everywhere else. He wants to put movies on because he was relentless about it. So I just want to have that boldness, and I want to go counterculture. I don't want to do things because that's the way people do it. And I don't want to not do things because people say, you can't do that. You shouldn't do that. It's dumb to do that. I don't care. The future is given to the bold. Yeah. The people who are willing to take bold steps always win the future. And I'm going to be one of those people.
I love that. For me,
Danny, tell us about you.
Yeah. So as much as I feel like, I always have, like, I bring these kind of conversations up and these topics up, but sometimes, again, I'm reminding myself, right? I feel like I get this wisdom, the spiritual download, and then I'm reminding myself, and when I do that, I want to tell everybody else too. So the other day I made a post, and it was just like, play at the part, not me. But I don't know why I felt so empowered after that post, because I feel like I'm always online being so positive and so uplifting, and I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that about myself. That's who I have been working on being. That's who I want to be, and that's who I am. But also, I want y'all to know that it's okay to feel like, don't you play with me. I'm not want to be played with.
Yes.
Okay,
I feel
don't
the
play
same
with
way.
me, right? And the reason I feel empowered just by a simple post is because I think, working with Lucas Live Media and Footage Fusion and being in the spotlight, you feel like you can't be you all of the time, or show people a different side of you. And now there is a side of me that I cherish, and I feel like make people like you and my boyfriend and my kids and my family, they get to see that side. They get to see like the real true Danny. And I think for the rest of my life I will always keep her sacred, because I don't want to. My thing is, I don't share that part of me with the world, because
they don't deserve it.
They don't deserve that.
Right.
Okay, so I'm online and I'm doing podcasts and I'm doing videos, and people say you only get to see what I show you. And that's true, and I want to keep that. But when I made that post, it empowered me because it's like I don't have to. I'm a human, so I don't have to be a certain way all the time, and it would be unrealistic for you guys to think that I'm always super positive. I'm always like, so I am kind, I am
Yeah.
positive. But again, everybody has and I'm not saying I made that post 'cause I'm getting ready to go fight somebody. I'm just
Yeah.
saying
But if
I
you
had a
do,
thought, and I felt so restricted sometimes with my posting and who I can be,
Yeah.
that I wouldn't even say something as simple as that. I didn't say I'm about to beat somebody up, or I didn't give no context at all.
Right.
I just made a simple statement, and people kind of was like, "Oh yeah," and I'm like, "Yeah," because yeah,
Right.
But
Right.
not everybody would expect that from me, and that's okay. But I also don't want people to take my kindness for a weakness.
Yes.
Okay. So I think just again staying authentically me, stepping into the next level, being me no matter what. If I'm not having a good day,
I'm having a good
Luca,
day.
I ain't feeling
Yeah.
today. I'm not
Yep.
I'm not as positive as I was yesterday
Yep.
because this, and this, and that. Now I'm not a person that takes all them things and be like, my life sucks.
Called being
There you
No,
go.
human. It's
but
human.
yeah, that day I said, you know what I said? I was at Ream's track practice, and I said, I told you on the phone. I said, I'm irritated. And I'm going to let myself be irritated because I'm
Yeah.
always seeing the glass half full. And that's great. That's great. And I
Yeah.
love that I can do that majority of the time.
But
But
today,
today, I'm mad and I want to be mad.
Yep.
I don't even care to just woosah. I tried to. I went and took a break. I walked and I was
Yeah.
like, I'm mad.
Yeah.
Why am I trying to not feel this emotion?
Yeah.
Why am I trying to neglect that emotion and not
Yeah.
feel it because I think I'm always supposed to be happy? No,
It's okay
Stay
to
true.
be mad.
It's about
It's
to-
okay
it's
to be
okay.
mad. It's what you
Stay
do
true.
when you
What you
are
do.
Yeah.
I ain't
mad.
cuss nobody
Right.
out.
Right.
It's just a
Yeah,
matter of
right.
felt the
Yeah,
emotion.
just
Right.
allow yourself
not
to be
fair.
upset. Allow
Yeah.
yourself to feel the emotion. It's just a matter of how you handle yourself when you're in that emotion.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't do nothing that I feel bad about, nothing like that. But I called Lou. I told him, I said, I'm gonna be mad, and there's nothing that I want you to tell me to make me feel better. I just want to be upset, and
good
I'm
one.
telling you, I'm mad right now. I don't need you to be like, Danny, it's gonna be okay. I know it's gonna be okay.
Yep.
But right now, bruh, I'm mad. Like,
And you know what's
listen
so
to me be
cool?
mad. Let me tell you what this
Listen.
person did and that person did. And Lucas, I'm mad. And you was like, I feel you, Danny.
Ooh.
Like, they playing with you. I'm like, ain't they?
That's-
And then we move to the next conversation because I don't sit in it. But I'm just saying, like, sometimes I don't give myself the grace to just
Ooh.
feel the emotion and be mad because
Man.
I think I gotta be this. No, I'm a
Man,
human.
turn over the
I'm
table
mad
sometime. Be
today.
mad
I'm
sometime.
mad.
Let's go. I love that about you, Danny. You are one of the most positive people I've ever been around. I think about it all the time. Like I go home sometime and I think, how did I just spend a whole day with a person who was that positive about so much chaos? I mean, not necessarily chaos. We don't deal with chaos every day, but stuff. There's just stuff every day, right? We're building a business. We got a lot of stuff going on. You got things you're doing that you don't love to do. Some days you lock in, you're like, I got to do this thing all day, and all day I'm going to be doing something that I don't love doing. And all day you still sitting over there being positive. And everybody has their off days, but 99% of the time you're a positive person. It blows me away. And when you're mad, I'm mad with you.
You are.
Because you deserve to be mad, because you're not mad for no reason. You're a person who is not just looking for a problem, looking for something to be mad about. When somebody mess with you, I'm mad too. And I love that about you too for me, because I know we were joking about something yesterday, and I said, if somebody do something, what you gonna do? You was like, you was with it together. Like,
Tell me
you
a
my
bit.
sister so for
What
real. Like,
is
you
happening
can't
right now?
tell me you're not my sister. Like, I don't care what people say about blood thicker than water. None of that,
Yeah.
none of that means anything to me. Like 100%, I know if something go down, we be like, we ain't gonna do nothing. You know I got your back 100%. I know you got my back 100%. I know if you going through it, I was grieving a loss. Y'all, all of y'all came and showed me so much love. I lost my aunt recently. We got a family here, man, and that matters. And I just want to say I love that about you, and be true. Stay true.
Thank you. Thank
Awesome.
you. Thank
Awesome.
you. Listen, I hope you guys enjoyed the show as much as we have enjoyed it.
Yes.
Thank you guys for getting in the comments and hanging out with us.
Yes.
It meant so much
Thank you,
seeing all of you
guys.
guys hanging out and talking. And some of you guys
Yes.
said that what we were talking about helped you when you needed it this morning. And
That's
that's what we want to
great.
be here
Yes.
for, right? We want to send you off into the weekend on a positive note. And that's what I want to start doing on this show.
Yeah.
I want to start challenging your thinking. I want to start challenging your growth, because when I was on my spiritual journey and I was on Facebook and I was making all of these posts, and I think right now in this position, that's why I learned what I was learning, so I can get on here and use my platform and use my voice and use my wisdom.
Yeah.
To just share what I know. I don't know everything. I know what I know. I know what's helped me. I'm not here to give advice. I'm here to give ideas.
Yes.
If you take it, do what you will, right? I don't give advice because I don't want anybody being like, that ain't work for me and Danny is wrong. It's an idea. It worked for me. Okay. So please join us next time on the show. Not the same conversation, but something similar, something
Yes.
to get you thinking, something to help you grow, self-growth, confidence, reflection. We're gonna grow in 2025 and we're gonna be better humans, better leaders, better business people, better parents, just better all around the spectrum. And if that's what you're with, then this is a show for you. Any final words, y'all?
That's it. Wonderful show.
I say just take the time to create a goal for yourself.
Yeah. Take it
You
slow
know,
and
whatever you
baby
talked
steps.
about, whatever we talked about today, just, take some time to yourself and create a goal. What is it that you want to step out and do? What is your fear? What's holding you back? Is that fear, obviously it's not of God. So what is it? And why is it holding you back? And just kind of really, sometimes we need time to ourselves.
Yes.
Cut off the Facebook when you're done watching us.
Yes.
Cut off the Facebook, cut off the YouTube, cut off the Instagram, and just kind of sit and say, what are the things that I want to do and what's keeping me from that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One more thing before we go. One more thing. I seen a video of this guy and I feel like he cussed me out. And he cussed men and women out, but it was really towards women. And what he said was, y'all keep saying y'all overstimulated and y'all tired and y'all burnt out. And you know why? It's because you go to work and then from when you come home from work, you think being scrolling on your phone and doing that is your time to yourself. Then you get up and then you cook dinner and you run your sons a bath or your kids a bath or whatever. And then you prepare stuff for the next day. Then you go and do the same thing. You ain't got no hobby. You ain't got nothing that you like to do.
Stare at other people live.
You going home and getting into bed is not, go be a part of something. Go find something that sparks your interest. If it's
Great
running,
point.
if it's sewing, if
Something.
it's
If it's
I don't
walking,
care if
if
it's
it's
reading a
talking,
book.
if it's
You gotta do a shower is a necessity. It's not self-care no more, okay? A bath is a necessity. You gotta take one, all right? Getting your nails done and all that stuff. Some of y'all, that's upkeep, that's maintenance, okay? Do something for yourself. Get involved
regularly.
in
Get a
something.
regular habit of working out. Get a regular
talking to
habit of
myself.
going with friends and doing something. Get a regular habit of
Absolutely.
something additional. Add something to it. You
I
deserve
love
it.
doing Lucas Live Media. I love doing for the future. And sometimes I feel like, oh, I love what I do. It's work. But I'm talking to myself. I am going to go out. I'm trying
Go
to
to
get in
concerts
Marquise's
and stuff.
boxing club. They got a women's thing going on.
Right.
I'm trying to get involved in other things
Yeah.
outside of my title.
If you saw like Sammy and them in concert or like B2K or any of them was ever in concert. Never mind. All right. Apparently, never mind. Danny
Thank
was
you.
about to go to a concert of her life. We got to take up a donation. Apparently, I don't know what's gonna happen. She need to go to a concert this weekend. All right.
Yes, that's it.
Danny, wonderful.
Wonderful
So much fun.
show,
You
so
guys,
fun.
wonderful. You
Thank
guys were
you.
our guests. And you guys, even when we have guests, chime in, tap in, tune in, be a part of the show. And Danny's putting together, she's our executive producer and lead host here at Lucas Live News, which will be changing its name. Because I'm getting kicked off the
Danny's
show. No, I'm
Show.
just kidding. It's right to the Danny Show. The Danny Show, you're welcome is what it's going to be called. You're welcome. But I'm really happy and really proud. So excited for what's to come.
All right, guys, we will see you guys next week on Lucas Live News, or maybe it'll be a different name. I don't know. But either way, 8 a.m. right here on Lucas Live Media. We'll see you guys next time, and make sure you are growing and glowing this weekend.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.